Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, you bet your ass a yay this week, Jimmy. I'm telling you. Ooh, we have the craziest case ever.
So fun.
My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Man, we have the craziest case ever. I want to thank all you guys for joining us. Thanks for joining us for the past year. Today is the last episode of our first year of doing Crime and Sports. Next year is our one-year anniversary show, which is insane. Next week, next week is our one-year anniversary show, which you're going to want to tune in for because it's going to be wild. We have a bona fide, genuine serial killer coming at you, so you're going to want to check that out. This week is the craziest story we have ever. I want to thank everyone.
This wraps up the year, James.
It's this, and we're going to wrap it up, too, in the end in high fashion.
Let me say this real quick. We have never missed a week in a year, and we have fucking jumped through so many hoops, organized so many things in our personal lives to get this done.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of you, and I'm very proud of me. I'm very proud of this.
We did this
Thank
well.
you, James.
Thank everyone out there. Also, thank Sarah Hunt for doing our social media and all of our graphics and artwork and everything.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you guys. You guys have made this what it is, and we appreciate it.
It's unbelievable.
Thank you guys for your iTunes reviews this week and everything like that. The iTunes reviews mean the world to us. Please get on there if you haven't. Please sign in, do your thing. I know it takes 30 seconds. Give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following directions.
So important.
Whatever. It's so important. Drives us up the rankings, gets us on the charts, gets us sponsors, all that good stuff. So please do that on the business end if you like us and you'd like to keep hearing more Crime and Sports. You want to hear us be successful. Please do that. But this week, Jimmy, oh, man, this is a wild one.
I can't
Hope
wait.
you enjoyed Dexter Manley last week because
he was fucking crazy.
That was a lot of fun, that one last week.
And the amount of people that were so excited about it, too.
Yeah. Well,
after being able to hear it, because they all knew who he was.
He was a big name, Dexter Manley.
He had huge fans.
And all of his cocaine was highly publicized. Right. Every time he gets suspended, it was a big deal. And as we know, he would have a lot of quotes that he would be happy to give the media.
Holy shit. Coke-fueled.
Man.
Why is that a tongue twister? Coke-fueled quotes.
That's a tough one. That is not. That's easy. That's not you. No. Trust me. That is them. Good Lord. So, yeah, here we are, though, with our 1 week away from our anniversary show.
I can't wait for that one, too.
Stick around after this story, by the way. The story will wrap up a little shorter than normal, and then at the end we are going to have some amazingly fun stuff for you, one of which Jimmy doesn't even know about, and I'm going to surprise him with it, so I'm not going to tell you, but it's going to be really fun. It'll help bring the past year together. If you've had questions, where did this come? Where did that come from? We're going to answer it for you.
Great.
It's one of those. It's going to be a lot of fun at the end.
Big stuff.
Big stuff. But before that, never mind all that stuff. We're going to get to that. Let's get to our crime this week, our criminal, because it is the craziest, most batshit. It's one of the craziest crimes I've ever heard about. Period. Never mind in sports or it's just, it's insane. And it was
just a psychotic thing to do?
Psychotic isn't the word. I don't even know if psychotic, it's not even psychotic. It's just, you just go, what? Well, no, he did what? No, then he did what? My head was exploding during this.
God damn it, let's go.
Let's do this. We have now, this is an unknown here, too, which I love giving you guys the unknown cases. We love doing the unknown cases. Nobody wants to hear more about OJ. Let's hear more about this guy who doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. No Wikipedia page.
That's so good.
Really hard to find information.
That's as unknown as it gets. Joe's son had a fucking Wikipedia page.
Yeah, well, shit, he was in an Austin Powers movie. But this guy, I don't even have his middle name. Really? I have his initial.
Okay.
He's Jarrod G. Wyatt.
Okay.
That's what I have. He's an MMA fighter.
All right.
Briefly, extremely briefly, and we'll get to how brief.
More brief than 5 losses?
I can't even find his birth date.
Wow.
I have some info. I know he's born in 1984.
Okay.
That's it. I know he had a tough childhood.
He's younger than me.
He's younger than you. And wow, you've never done anything like, he's done way more than you with his life. Trust me. Not in a good way, but he's done something. He's done something. He had a rough childhood. I know that. I don't know why he had a rough childhood. I just heard quotes of he had a rough childhood. So I'm like, must have had a rough childhood. I don't know. Literally, early life, I know shit about his early life because it's impossible to find. What I found here is so difficult. Basically, in the media, there is the trial of what happened because it's really sensationalized insanity. And that's it. There's nothing else. And everything on that I found was through a local tiny newspaper in Del Norte County, California, which there's nobody there.
Yeah.
It's the far extreme northwest California corner on the border with Oregon and the Pacific Ocean. It's there. It is way up there. I found newspaper articles, and after 3 of them, they don't let you read anymore.
What?
They bring up a thing on screen that says you must subscribe to read any more articles.
Terrible.
They want money out of me.
Well,
and I'm
of
like,
course.
I can't
There's
afford
nobody
this.
there. They've got to finance that paper by
it's horrible.
robbing from people that give a shit about one thing that happened.
Unreal. So basically, they put the thing up in the middle of the screen and it's all like shaded around it. So I had to
You're like,
read.
I'm not paying you, fuck. Get out of here.
I read like 15 articles in the half an inch space under that ad, all shaded, one line at a time, squinting. So patreon.com/crime and sports. Jesus Christ.
God damn it, donate.
Man.
What? You're a hero, James.
Maybe we can subscribe to some of these sites, but not that one. On principle, I'm not giving them $10 because I'm never going to look at it again. Fuck you. I'm not doing that.
That free trial of porn. Like, my dick's hard, goddammit. Just keep going.
Now.
10 more seconds.
Now, not then. Now it is. You understand?
Amazing.
So, it's Jarrod Wyatt is his name, as we said here. He's born 1984. All I know is he started boxing at the age of 10.
Okay.
That's a thing that I know. That's from one of these articles I had to read in the thing. I know nothing about him up until 2007 otherwise.
Okay.
He's in Crescent City, California, and Calumet, California is his other place that he stays later on, and that's it.
I'm guessing not living the dream.
Oh, he's not living the dream. No, he's definitely not living the dream.
He's having a rough childhood.
He really is. Now, he starts out here, and all these fights. If a guy's a fighter, that's an indication that he's had a rough childhood right there. Just the fact that he's like, I want to let people punch me in the face.
Right.
They've had some issues in their life. They just don't normally get well-adjusted people who've had easy, nice childhoods with good homes and, opportunities for college. They're like, no, I want to let a dude choke me. No, it's going to be much better. I'm going to get my underwear, have a guy choke me out. That seems better to me.
I'm going to cauliflower ear does not even scare me away from that.
No, and he has
that's
one,
what,
too.
Really?
Yeah,
of course he does.
His mugshot, I could see
Jesus.
Spoiler alert, he gets arrested later.
That's an indicator that there's problems in that man's life.
Yeah.
Because cauliflower ear does not scare him away from that.
It attracted him to it. He loves it. The way you see his quotes about fighting later.
Amazing.
He loves to fight, this guy. He loves it. On April 23rd, 2007, he wins first place in the... Jesus, this information was hard to find, by the way.
Oh, boy.
He wins first place in the SoYouWannaFight.com Tough Man contest.
The what?
SoYouWannaFight.com.
What year? 2007?
2007. SoYouWannaFight.com Tough Man contest. It's in Trinidad, down on the island there in Trinidad, at the Char A Heights Casino.
It really feels like that was influenced by So You Think You Can Dance, or it's one of those stupid TV shows.
SoYouWannaFight.com. Interesting. So he goes, I'm sure that was just a skill display there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was, Floyd Mayweather, and I'm sure lots of skilled professionals were there. No, see, that was probably a bunch of dudes in jean shorts pounding the piss out of each other. So you want to fight tough man contest.
They're dragging tractor tires through the parking lot.
Without a doubt.
Getting limber.
We're going to do this.
Yeah.
Now, April 30th, 2007, there's an article in this tiny paper that I had to read through the half an inch of screen, through the gray, about local fighters in the area that are training at the Del Norte Health and Fitness Center. There's a bunch of them there. There's a few from the area. They're calling themselves Team Intense.
Oh, boy.
So he's part of Team
Very
Intense.
clever, fellas.
Yeah, and boy, does he get some intense shit going on. Now, the first fight I can find of his, I don't believe this is not his professional debut. First of all, this is another thing. I don't know what classifies as a professional MMA fight. I don't know what sanctioning it needs to be. And I'm not being a wise ass.
Right.
I just don't know.
I don't either.
It seems like there's no difference between guys beating the shit out of each other here or there or whatever. I don't know if it's the referee has to be of a certain caliber, if you have to pay a commission to do it, if that's the deal.
Do I have to do it in front of Mills Lane or that fucking big guy that says, let's get it on?
I have no clue what this is, but he fights people presumably paid money to get in. It's semi-professional.
Because they do this shit at a state fair, too.
Yeah, well,
every state fair in the country does this shit.
This year, wow. He fights at a place called the Golden Bear Casino. Mm-hmm. Now, to give you a little background on this casino and how luxurious it is and the area it's in, basically, there's an article here saying that the month before this fight, saying that the company that owns the casino here, they're announcing that they're going to open a gentleman's club next to the casino, okay, separated by 6 feet from the casino. It will be called the Honey Pot, which will be affiliated with 3 Louisiana strip clubs, including one on Bourbon Street.
That is so gross.
So Louisiana, Bourbon Street, middle of nowhere, Northern California.
The Honey Pot.
The Honey Pot, which sounds disgusting. They have put about $10,000 into renovating the building so far, because there was a couple of failed businesses there before that. They're having trouble finishing because Del Norte County is so sparsely populated that they're having trouble getting a plumber and an electrician to come.
They can't find one in the town.
That's how rural this place is. Literally, there's an interview with the guy, and he's like, I just can't get a plumber or an electrician. Like, literally, that's what we're waiting on.
We're out of money. I can't fly one in from Fresno.
He's just like, I just can't get one to come out here. Nobody will get in their truck with all their shit and drive 2 hours to the middle of nowhere.
Holy Christ.
Unreal. So they said they're spending a lot of time on the stage, really getting that stained up nice, they said.
Get all that brass polished up.
Oh, boy. The club will cost a total of $75,000 to renovate. The town council's pissed off about this. They thought it was going to be an arcade for the kids to play in while their parents were losing all their money at the casino.
Oh, it's an arcade, all right.
It's an arcade. Hold on to those quarters Mommy gives you because you're going to need them for something to eat afterwards after she wipes everything out. So let's do that. Those poor kids. Imagine that's the saddest arcade in town.
Did you ever do that when you were a kid?
Go to the arcade?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, my parents, my stepfather and my mother took us to Vegas once.
Really?
Brought the kids with them to Vegas. It's the most trashy thing to do.
No, I'm from New York. There's no gambling. Atlantic City is too far. No one's taking their fucking kid down there.
And they fucking dropped us in the arcade at Circus and they went and played fucking blackjack.
Great, so you could be terrorized by clowns. Perfect.
And
Thanks, Mom.
I just dropped quarter after quarter into Street Fighter for like 3 hours. I think that's
the way to do it.
I probably spent as much money on Street Fighter as they did on the blackjack table.
Well, these kids were not as lucky as you because instead of being an arcade, it was a strip club.
They're getting titties.
The guy who's building it said, this is great, the quote on it. Quote, "This is going to be a quaint lounge. We use artistic expression through dance."
You betcha.
Yeah, artistic expression with your tits out. That's very artistic of you.
Pop your pussy on a handstand. That's artistic as fuck.
Unreal. And this casino, the
interpretive dance of the Yin Yang twins. All right.
I have to give you some info on where this casino came from because it's the funniest thing. It just shows. If you just try to build even a casino, which you think, I can't lose money on that, you can fuck that up bad. And these people did it repeatedly. This is the fourth time they've raised this casino up and to a casino. 4 times now. This is the 4th try.
And they think the titties are going to be the driving force? That's the one.
That's going to draw people in.
That's how much sex sells in America, by the way.
They'll drive to the desert for it. Now, it's owned by the Raghini Rancheria Indian tribe. Which they're kind of a separate of the Yurok, which they're like in with them. It's the Klamath River tribe altogether. It was the Gold Bear Casino that will be at this point. There's an article about when it's opening. It's the tribe's 4th attempt at a casino in the area. It's a super rural area, like I said. It's right on the Oregon border in the ocean. Like I said, just cram it in the corner of California. Known for huge redwoods and not people, basically, and that's a problem. They tried to open their first casino in 1997, but within a very short time, within 2 months, a flood destroyed the structure.
Wow.
Sounds like it's some Old West shit, doesn't it? Like, well, we tried to build it up there, but the river flooded and just took out the whole structure, so we had to move it downstream.
And the Indians probably started thinking it's on a burial ground or some shit.
This is not 1997 shit. You're losing your casino to a flood. Have you ever heard of a casino being wiped out by a flood? I've heard of people's houses, people in the Midwest, farmers, not goddamn casinos.
Heard of New Orleans.
Yeah, this is piss poor right here. Now, later in 97, they tried to reopen something, but they didn't have investors yet, so they just opened up a 40-foot trailer and put some fucking slot machines in it. Wow. They did that for 6 months. Talk about a depressing casino gambling environment. You just go into a 40-foot trailer like you're in the special classes at school and they don't have your room for you in the building.
The cigarette smoke doesn't dissipate in a 30,000 square foot casino.
No, try a
40-foot trailer.
Jeez, terrible.
Clam bake and Marlboros.
God.
Jesus.
You know who I know wasn't there, though? Electricians or plumbers. It was only other people. Now, they finally got investors to give them money to build an actual structure.
Yeah.
It's like Deadwood here. Like, we had a tent. Now we're going to build a building.
Here we go.
Here we go. Now, this was in 1998. Now, and so it opens in 98. They got investors. They open up a structure. But in 2000, after only 2 years open, it closed. Wow. Because there's no fucking people there.
Yeah.
Stop opening casinos where there's no people. Jesus Christ! What do you think? People are going to drive 3 hours to give you money to the middle of with no other attractions? They said before the problems were, and there's still problems there, is there's no gas around there. There's like no place to get gas or food or
what the fuck?
Anything else.
How about build those things before you build your casino?
Build
some commerce.
Well, either that or go where there's infrastructure. Right. Just go out in the desert and go, we could build a casino here. They'll run out of gas going home. But
you can build a casino a lot of fucking places.
Yeah, you can build it anywhere. You can build a casino on fucking Mars. It doesn't mean that it's, So anyway, so the Gold Bear, this casino that he'll be fighting at, reopened with the name the Gold Bear Casino, which I think Golden Bear is traditionally the California thing, but whatever, in June 2006. Basically, this casino is just 150 to 200 slot machines and a cafe. Okay. That's the whole casino.
Casino.
Not really worth the drive, I'm saying. They're trying to have boxing or fights of some kind to draw people in just to get them there to take their money, basically, because you have to have something.
Right.
Now, the fight takes place on June 23rd, 2007 at the Golden Bear Casino, Klamath, California. Jarrod Wyatt, our guy here, fights some schmo named James Schumacher, who has no history of anything.
He was the electrician.
He was he came in.
He got up there and they were like, did y'all got a room or something?
He's like, I forgot my tools. They're like, that's all right. Come in the ring, buddy.
You got fine. 2 arms. Come in
Let's
here.
Let's go. We're going to let this guy beat you around for a while. There's a video of this fight on YouTube.
Really?
This is the only footage of this guy, and it's on YouTube, and it's the worst video footage I've ever goddamn seen in my life. It is filmed on a phone, and not an iPhone, a 2007 phone.
Oh, no.
So it's real
Some
shaky.
flip phone, the fucking Motorola Razr.
It's the worst film. It's outdoors. This fight, it looks like
it's an open-air place.
They literally, the fight is, they literally just put a ring in the middle of a parking lot or like a field next to it or something.
Remember that open mic I used to run where they used to have one of those nights outside?
Yes.
Was it like that?
That's except there's a ring. We used to work at this place, the comedy, early days of comedy.
What a shithole that place is.
Every other Friday night they would have fights in the parking lot.
Fight night, yeah.
Fight night in the parking lot. And it was just people walking around screaming and hitting shit while you were going over your jokes. And they didn't take kindly to being talked shit to by us either. So it's just,
they came in one night while I was setting up and they took my mic and were doing a way in stare down and just took over my stage, and I had 12 comics sitting in the corner. Not one of us were going to say fuck to these people.
They're all shirtless.
They just robbed my mic, and they're just like, now what do you think about it? And they're
they're just doing their own open mic?
It's crazy.
Wow. Let them
do it. And I just had
to
let them finish.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Those people are crazy because they really want to be Chuck Liddell so bad.
They do, and so do these idiots here. There's so much so that they want to fight in a parking lot, basically. There's a ring up, and it's got a lot of flags on this ring. Yeah. It's flagged out. Now, they say later on in this article that I found and read through a half inch of gray, they say there was 300 people there. I'm going about 100 people there, it looked like. Most of them look like white supremacists.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure they
it's
look
a
like,
rural up there. There's a lot of shirtless white guys with shaved heads.
You bet.
Running around, really sticking their chests out, looking super supremacy-ish. Yeah. Just, I don't know.
They're in the yard, right?
It might have just been hot and they shaved their heads and couldn't have a shirt on, but they look like fucking skinheads. I'm just saying they are. Maybe, can't be sure. Anyway, so the fight goes. I watched the whole fight. Fight goes about 3 minutes, basically.
Really?
It is not a skills display.
Hilarious.
It's not a display of skills.
It's not a slap fighting.
It looks like, I've said this before, it looks like 2 6th graders got in a fight on the playground and were pushed each other, and then one got each other in a headlock, and then they rolled around for a while. I don't know what MMA skills either one of these guys had. Right. It did not look like UFC on TV. It didn't at all. For most of the fight, Schumacher appears to have the upper hand. He's on top of him. He's doing a bunch of moves. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't see, like, if they're together, I can't see who's punching rabbit punches.
Schumacher's used to tight spaces, fishing wire in and out of walls and shit. He's
top electrician in Del Norte County, Schumacher. So eventually, though, Jarrod turns him over. And they're in the missionary position for about 20 seconds with Jarrod on top of them. They're in the missionary. That's exactly what they are, in the missionary position. And the camera angle, I can't see what's happening because the camera's at that porn angle. It's like right under Jarrod's ass.
Yeah.
Like if he was fucking him, you'd see his balls going. One of those. It's that angle. So I can't tell if he's punching him or choking him or doing whatever. But somehow out of this...
see his balls going.
You see his balls going pretty hard. So... Somehow out of this.
I just saw it.
I don't think we've ever had.
In my head, I just saw him swing. That's great.
The funny part about this fight, too, is there's no announcers or graphics. So I didn't know who was who until it was over, and his friends looked happy. And I was like, oh, I guess that's Jarrod. They're just two nondescript white dudes rolling around in a ring in the middle of a parking lot in a shitty no man's land casino in the middle of nowhere in Del Norte, California. Holy shit. So anyway, Jarrod ends up getting on his back, on Schumacher's back, and chokes him out.
All right.
I see that, and I'm like, I recognize that. He's choking him, and Schumacher ends up tapping, and that's that. So Jarrod gets up. He's fucking thrilled. He is does a one-handed cartwheel.
Oh, no.
Like he does a thing and pops up. Like he had his whole like routine set. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be this guy.
I can't wait till I can do my fucking dance.
There's 100 guys there. Now, several skinhead-looking guys run in the ring to celebrate with him. They're like, the pose they're making, I'm like, that's a skinhead pose. Like, they're very skinheady guys. They're yelling and screaming.
Flat hand out salute, that one?
Not that, but they're like, the way they have their chest out, everything but the salute. Like,
Jesus.
It's like, we can't do the salute, you know, but
that's
we'll do
too obvious.
Too obvious here. Someone's got it on a flip phone over here. I don't know if
it's
I want
too
to
on the nose.
I'm going to run for office next year. So, in Del Norte, who knows? He might be running for office. They pan to Schumacher, the defeated guy, and he's just like sitting there by himself. And then this girl comes, I think it's his girlfriend, just comes in and she's just like sitting there with him in the ring. It was a very sad sight. And
where does it hurt?
Where does it hurt? And then they pan back over to him and it's a fucking skinhead celebration. They're jumping up and down. Then a fight breaks out between his people in the ring, Jarrod's posse in the ring, and a bunch of people outside the ring.
Awesome.
They all start fighting, and the ropes are going back and forth.
That's a better fight than the one that just happened.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm like, here we go. I was way more interested in that.
Now we got action.
Yeah, I was way more interested in seeing his balls slap against the fucking dude. So the video ends. The last thing you hear is a security guard telling the other security guards, "We need to clear the ring. We need to stop this. Security, come on, guys. We need to clear the ring." And then it shuts off. So
Get that out of here.
I really want to know. But there was an article about the fight at the fight later on in that newspaper. I didn't look at that because my eyes hurt too bad. I only looked at relevant shit at that point. I was like, I can't. I just can't look at that fight. It's enough. I've done enough research here, for fuck's sake.
I've seen what happened. I don't need some reporter to tell me.
I seen it.
So saw his balls going.
Saw his balls.
That's the funniest thing ever.
You know that's what happened.
Yeah.
His balls were slapping. Swinging. So Wyatt, there's like I said, very sparse information, but I did find some cool shit that actually was brought up in court. And I'm like, yes, here we go. So now, some earlier criminal activities.
Oh, terrific.
To show what kind of loon he is, basically. Wyatt, in early of 2009, he calls two friends of his to meet him at Pacific Shores. I assume that's the beach of some kind up there. When the friends get there, he wanted to show them something.
Oh, God.
He unleashes his two large dogs and has them attack a pig that he recently bought. That's what he invited his friends. Come watch my dogs attack a pig.
Hey, guys, come here. I got something to show you. Yeah. That's like the ultimate redneck shit. Come over, y'all. I got something to show you.
And that's what it is. Watch that. Watch animals
rip
each
watch
other.
This.
What the fuck? So the friends are horrified by this. Yeah. Even though they hang out with him, they're probably loons too. I don't know if it's the skinhead guys even are like, hey, dude, come on. They eventually beg him to stop the mauling. They're like, dude, stop, please. This is horrible. So he does. He calls his dogs off and goes over and stabs the shit out of the pig.
Wow.
Just to get it out of the way. So, I mean, he had to put it out of its misery, I guess, but he did it in a pretty brutal way where they were like,
my God.
Oh, my, this guy is out there, boy. He's a little out there. Now,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's blows to the head or what that makes you do that.
Unbelievable.
He's got a bit of a bloodlust, let's say, at this point. It looks like
they
to me.
Say they say that terrible people start with hurting animals.
Yeah, always.
You know what I mean?
Always.
And that's a pretty damn good start. That's terrible. There's nothing worse than that. And he did that with an audience.
He did that. He made sure there was an audience. He didn't just be like...
He called an audience.
Yeah, he didn't say, I want to do this now.
He promoted that show.
He didn't say, I don't want
He put that shit on Facebook.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, guys, everyone come down to my show. That's the thing.
No cover.
He didn't just sit there. There happened to be people there, and he's like, I really got to have the dogs maul the pig now. I'm hankering to see that. Right. He said, hey, Tom, Bob. Yeah, no, come on. He didn't tell him I got something for you. And they're like, hey, maybe he's having a barbecue.
Right.
Hey, maybe he's got some chicken breasts on the grill.
Maybe he still does.
Nope. He's got pork all ready for you, but you're going to have to clean it up first. What a fucking disaster.
Can you field dress a pig? Unbelievable.
He can field stab a pig.
What
I don't know
a
about dressing
monster.
He's actually pretty good with field dressing things we'll get to later,
okay.
Unfortunately for the rest of the world. This is a fucking horrific story.
All right.
If you are not okay with graphic shit, I mean, we'll try to be whatever, but this shit is gross.
We're going to be graphic.
This is a gross-ass story. Yeah. It's rough, so buckle up now. I'll tell you that. Fall of 2009, Wyatt does mushrooms, hallucinogen mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms.
I won't judge him for that.
Nah, 3 times with a woman he was dating at the time. Now, the woman said he acted progressively weirder every time they did mushrooms.
That's generally what happens.
During one of the trips, he told his dogs to bite her, which scared the shit out of her. She said they were nipping at her, and he thought it was funny.
Oh, my God.
Basically. So he's kind of a sadistic bastard anyway with this shit. And so, yeah, he thought it was funny. She was freaked out by it. No shit. God, obviously, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's not a good impression to make. Why would you keep going and hanging out with the guy? Yeah. That's the thing. Like, she was
Which
still
trip was that?
They didn't say.
I hope number
it better
3.
Have been 3.
Yeah, it should have been 3, and that should have been the last one.
Well, if it was 1, then you're really an idiot. If it was 2, you go, well, we're 50-50 so far. Maybe the third one, maybe it's an odds and evens thing. Next time it'll be fun. But the third time,
odds and evens thing.
Every odd time it's bad, whatever. So October 24th, 2009. He actually has his first fight. It's in a cage. There's a still of it that I found on that site. Okay. It's in Oregon somewhere.
All right.
He knocks his opponent out with an elbow in this fight. That is an actual professional sanctioned fight. Okay. That counts as his first pro fight. So now he is 1-0. And if you look up a fight record, scroll through 20 pages of other bullshit, and you'll find 1-0 this guy. Right. Okay, but it didn't say who he fought. I couldn't find that part.
All right.
Sorry. Well,
whatever.
We're doing our best here. But he knocks a guy out in Oregon. There's an article in the local paper, this goddamn Del Norte bullshit, sons of bitches up there wanting money out of me. It's a fluff piece about him and about his fighting and about he's a local fighter. There's nobody fucking there. If anyone's doing anything, dude, if there was a plumber moving into town, they'd have a fluff piece on him. It's like, they finally finished the strip club now. Holy shit. So a fighter, they're going to do a little story on him.
I wonder if they had heard about the pig.
I don't think they have.
Something tells me no.
No. I don't think that made the paper quite yet. So he's got a manager now at this. He's got a silver-haired middle-aged white man because you got to have one. And
it's imperative.
He has quite the silver statement later on. But right now he's being managed by the local medical marijuana grower in the area.
What?
A guy named Dante Vitullo.
Of course it's Dante.
Was a fighter, and now he doesn't want to fight. He's bankrolling, basically. Yeah. He's a trainer and a fighter, and he just bankrolls. He's got tons of money.
Bringing the weed money in.
Yeah. Vitullo wants to send him to Iowa to train. Remember all of our MMA fighters going to Iowa for the training camp? That's where he wants to send him. He says that Wyatt it's very expensive to send him there. Apparently that's a super expensive thing to do. And he says Wyatt is well worth the cost, and it's going to come back to him tenfold. And
how about that?
He's got confidence in this Wyatt kid. He's talking about how he's supposed to fight for the Southern Oregon Fight League Championship on June 30th.
That sounds special.
Yeah, that's coming up, or January 30th of the next year. That's coming up in 2007. So, it's I guess that's good. I don't know. I looked up this Southern Oregon Fight League champion. There's not much going on with that shit, but I tried to find records to see if he won that fight or not. But I believe he won because later on he's called a champion by somebody. So I believe he won. That is a really weak-ass championship to be claiming, but champion nonetheless. Yeah. So we have an in their own words. This is the one and only in their own words.
I love it.
Fucking, keep it in your pocket and
enjoy
really hang on to it. Make it last. Don't spend it all in one place. So this is in their own words on fighting and just being nudnickery in general. This gives you a sense of his personality.
Broad overview of what makes the man tick.
Here we go. In their own words, quote, "I've been fighting one way or another since I can remember. I think that all fighting is worthwhile. This is my yoga. You can't beat up idiots at the grocery store or the guy that cuts you off. Frustration builds up, and fighting is something that's a great release. Since starting to fight professionally, I never get in actual fights anymore. I can't wait to fight on TV as soon as I can.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
This is my yoga?
This is my yoga, and since I started fighting professionally, I never get in fights anymore. That's like, otherwise I was punching everybody. I just couldn't go down the street without punching somebody.
It was crazy.
So now he's all set, right? It's 2009.
Yeah.
He's about to have that fight in the early 2010.
Choking a guy out is my downward dog.
That's his downward dog.
Fuck?
So now he's not going to have any out of the ring problems. Right. Once he fights in there, he's not fighting anybody, right? Yeah, he's good now, right?
That's his shit.
Totally.
That's
his
yoga.
Jam. It's his yoga, dude. So November 2001, Wyatt allegedly punches his girlfriend in the face as she tries to leave for morning coffee. She tries to leave the house to go get morning coffee, and he
he's
decides,
like, not today, bitch.
I think you're going to go with a black eye today, this fucking idiot. So apparently the yoga didn't work that day, and he wasn't quite as
you like your
calm
coffee
as he
like
thought.
your eyes?
Yeah, he's like, you can't beat up the guy in the grocery store or the guy who cuts you off in traffic.
Or the guy that makes your coffee.
But you can punch your girlfriend if she wants to go get coffee.
Going to get
That's okay, apparently, with this fucking moron. Unreal now. So now March 17th, 2010. Note the date, March 17th, 2010. Wyatt allegedly punches a 16-year-old boy in the face.
Wow.
Because he was at the ocean and he didn't like the logo on his surfboard.
Oh, my God.
And made fun of it and walked over and punched him in the face.
What the fuck?
Wyatt didn't like his logo.
Yeah.
Not the kid made fun of his logo. Wyatt got mad and punched him. He said, I don't like your fucking logo, and punched the kid in the face.
What was the logo?
16-year-old kid. It was some brand. I looked it up. It's some I don't know surfing, so it doesn't matter, but it was just a brand. It wasn't even like...
It wasn't like the Black Panthers or something?
No, it's what I mean. He didn't have like I don't like fucking skinheads.
UFC fighters.
Yeah, he had nothing like that at all. It was crazy.
I don't like guys with the last name of Wyatt.
I don't like mohawks because he's got a mohawk, this moron, too.
Unbelievable.
Got a total mohawk.
Of course he does.
He's an idiot. So... yeah, he punches a guy over a surfboard. So apparently his
a 16-year-old kid.
16 years
That's
old.
That's assaulting a minor.
No problem.
That's crazy.
No worries. It's all good.
But if he punches his girlfriend, of course he'll punch a kid.
He doesn't care. This kid's a stranger.
Yeah.
He's not even, his girlfriend at least probably has some value to him, even in his warped
in
mind.
In 2010, he is 27?
Yeah.
27, yeah. 27 years old.
26.
What a shitbag.
Yeah, he's a shitbag.
Punching a 16-year-old kid.
Punching a 16-year-old, punching girlfriends and saying how fighting's his yoga.
Wow.
Idiot. My yoga.
I don't have anything in my life that I consider my yoga because I don't know what the benefits of yoga would be for me to compare it.
I don't know shit about you. Like, plus, I'm just not. I can't imagine a person being like, "This is my yoga." Like, it's the douchiest statement.
Chicks in yoga pants. That's my yoga. I dig those.
I would picture this to be like a really like sensitive, dorky guy with a ponytail that would say, "This is my yoga" when they like read a book or something.
When they're drinking their non-fat skinny latte.
Yeah. This guy, no, my yoga is punching people in the face.
Fuck.
And he says he likes striking a lot because he started boxing, so he likes punching
because it feels
and kicking
good.
is his style.
I like to punch shit too.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Right.
But in that one fight I saw, there was no punches thrown whatsoever. It was literally just rolling around.
So much for liking to punch shit.
Now we'll bring into the picture here a person named Taylor Powell.
Okay.
Taylor Powell's a kid. He's 21 years old at the time. From all accounts, a very, very nice kid. He's a nice guy. He becomes sparring partners with Wyatt here, with Jarrod. He's a sparring partner, nice kid. Everybody likes him. He moved to Crescent City right after he turned 18 just to try to make some kind of life for himself. I believe he's from Tennessee originally.
I'm assuming he had a rough childhood too.
His family was in Tennessee. Yeah, he went to a charter school in high school, and when he came out here, he was going to try to get his GED. That was the first thing he was going to try to do. So
rough childhood.
He's trying to...
Generally, overseas people, charter schools are for people that don't go well in public schools. And for high school anyway.
Times,
back then, that's how it started.
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
So you went to a charter school to get your high school equivalency, and then if you can't make it in that, you go get your GED, which is
you
you get laughed at basically.
Well, you get your GED.
A GED is bullshit,
and then you go get a job. Cleaning the toilets at a strip club at a casino.
They call it a high school equivalency, but people on the street will call it a GED is a good enough degree.
Yeah,
that's the slang term for it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. This poor non-GED recipient, because I never found out if he got it or not. He went there to get it, but probably not. He was distracted.
He's 21.
He worked at the Good Harvest Cafe in Crescent City, apparently. That was his job, and he was just kind of hanging out. He was a young kid. He was found a guy to hang out with that's an up-and-coming fighter. He thought, hey, I'll hang out with this guy.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
March 21st, 2010. This is in Requia, California. I don't know how you say that. It's R-E-Q-U-A. Raqqa, California. Whatever. He is there. It's Taylor Powell. And it's Jarrod Wyatt.
Yeah.
And Jarrod Wyatt, and they had worked out, I guess, earlier in the day. They'd been sparring and stuff. He has an upcoming fight, I believe, in April. That's supposedly a big fight of his coming up that he needs to train for.
Taylor?
No,
Wyatt.
Jarrod Wyatt.
Yeah.
He's got his silver-haired middle-aged white man there, the Dante guy. He's got him all set up for a fight. He's handling all his business.
Gotcha.
So Taylor Powell, Jarrod Wyatt, and 2 other friends, one of which is a guy named Justin Davis. I don't know the 4th friend's name, but I found this fucking Justin Davis. That was hard. Jesus. Justin says that the day before, they all drank mushroom tea. The night before. They all made tea with some mushrooms. You know, we're back into hallucinogenic mushrooms here. Now, he said that Wyatt had been acting super strangely the whole night, which he just took a bunch of fucking mushrooms.
That's what you do.
You're going to act strangely. Now, I don't know what people do with that. I've done mushrooms one time when I was young, and I just giggled. It was like a lot of fun, and I giggled, and that was about it. And then it was over with, and then I got tired and I went to sleep, period. I was hungry afterwards, but that's all it was. But
I drank tea and felt like I was melting into shit.
This guy has a bit of a different reaction, if you can trust what he says.
Is he allergic? I just had that
possible
epiphany. Maybe he's allergic to mushrooms because he just gets weirder and weirder when he takes it.
Brings out his true dickheadness.
Right.
Also, too, we don't know how brain injuries and mushrooms mix together.
That's a hell of a point.
And I'm sure it's probably different for everybody. There's probably no standard way that if you have a brain injury and you eat mushrooms, you're going to act like this. And we don't know if he even has a brain injury, but I'm sure he does. I feel like he's been hit in the head quite a bit growing up, and by his actions especially. So
generally, normal people don't fucking sick dogs on a pig.
No.
And then when your friends,
girlfriend,
when your sane friends tell you, "Dude, stop that," you walk over and fucking knife the pig.
Stab. This is normal, right? It wasn't cool for the dog, but I'll just stab it.
Pig blood fountain for all of you.
Unreal.
Jesus.
So I wish he would have stuck with that. So apparently. He was acting odd because Justin Davis, had left the night before. He left his dog at the house. He went to go do something. He left his dog. He comes back the next morning to get his dog, and the scene he finds in front of him.
Oh, boy.
Okay. You left the night before.
Yep.
Your friends were partying. You guys ate some mushroom, or you drank some mushroom tea. Everybody's fine. Everybody's having a good time. Wyatt's acting a little weird. Jarrod's acting a little strange, but whatever. I'm going to leave the dog here. I'll come back in the morning. I'll get it. You probably figure you come back the next morning, you're going to find them sleeping it off or something, right?
Right.
Okay.
And your dog running around the yard needing to eat.
Yeah, maybe a pile of shit in the corner or something. You figure these guys aren't responsible enough to take them out. So when Davis returned, Jarrod Wyatt was in the middle of the living room. He was naked, completely naked and covered head to toe in blood.
Oh, my God.
With blood everywhere.
Oh, my God.
When I say everywhere, from the descriptions of this, basically take a bag of blood and put a fucking M80 in it and blow it up in your living room, and that's what the shit looked like, basically.
Oh, my God.
Everything was covered in blood. There's furniture knocked over. I mean, there
was a scene.
It's a scene.
There was a struggle.
Yeah. Look down at the couch. He sees Taylor Powell's bloody and naked and presumably dead body lying on the couch right next to him in the middle of the living room.
Oh, my God.
Davis is like standing in the doorway with his jaw on the floor. Apparently, he didn't even say anything. He just opened the door and was like, what the fuck is going on?
Are they both dead?
Wyatt's standing. Jarrod Wyatt's standing in the middle of the living room.
Oh, my God. He's standing over a dead body with blood everywhere.
Standing there. Both of them are naked. Taylor Powell's naked and looks like he's dead. And,
why are they naked?
And he's naked and covered in blood. He looks over, Jarrod Wyatt looks over to Justin Davis and tells him, I'm going to cut his heart out now. I'm going to cut his heart out now. Now. It's like if you want to join in. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's an extra chair here if you want to pull it on up.
What?
So Davis smartly backs out, closes the door like, I didn't see any of that. Runs to the near, and it's 2010. I don't know how the hell none of these people had cell phones. That's fucking some serious white trash happening here.
No kidding.
So he goes to the nearest place he can find a payphone and calls the police.
He found a payphone in 2010.
Around there, though, who knows? They might be everywhere.
That's a good point.
So he finds a payphone and calls the police.
Thank God he's thinking properly.
Yeah, thank God he didn't be like, oh, let me try to help you. Because when I'm first reading this, I'm like, is this guy going to try to help cover it up now? Like, Jesus. No, this guy was like, I'm getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
I mean, no word on if he even got his dog. Like, he might have said, fuck you, Sparky.
Fuck Scruffy, I'm out.
I'm going. This is nuts. I don't know where he could have already eaten the dog for all we know.
That's a good point. So, I've heard stories he knifes pigs, so who even knows?
Who knows, right? You never know. So police arrive on the scene. Now, Wyatt acts like, dude, Justin Davis was never there.
Right.
Jarrod Wyatt is just going right back to his business of what he was doing. He's fine.
He's still bloody, right?
Oh, he's still bloody. Police arrive to find Wyatt still completely naked, still covered in blood. He's now on the couch with Powell's body. Okay. Both covered in blood. Most of Powell's face has been removed.
Oh, my God.
Skinned. He has no face.
He field-dressed his head.
He has no face. There is an 18-inch cut down his chest.
Oh, my God.
18-inch cut down his chest. There is an eyeball on the coffee table.
Oh, my God.
An eyeball.
What the fuck?
Just a fucking random eyeball sitting there.
The cops show up to find this.
This is what they find.
Oh, my God.
They probably thought the guy was full of shit. Yeah. He made the call. Literally,
sure, there's
like,
blood everywhere.
Whatever.
Somebody's got a bloody nose. I'm going to go check this
people
out.
With the mushrooms in this county. You know what I mean? And he goes, now, holy shit.
Where's his face?
Where's his face? Wyatt, because they're like, oh, what the fuck? He looks over, sees the police, and he goes, this is Wyatt's quote on this. Wyatt says, quote, I killed him. He had the devil in him.
He doesn't anymore.
Imagine the look on the cop's face for that.
So did he open his chest to pull the devil out?
Let's just be the cop for 1 second.
Yeah.
You walk in, you hear this story like, I'm sure there's a bloody guy with it. Whatever. What the fuck, man? Now what's going on? These jerk-off kids, blah, blah, blah. You show up and you go, whoa.
Yeah.
And then there's an eyeball on the table.
Yeah.
There's blood everywhere. There's a gash down there.
There's a missing face.
There's no face on this guy. And when the guy who called the cops left, he had a face.
He had a face.
And there was no gash in his chest.
Right.
And one of the eyeballs were in his head.
Right.
Now there's an eyeball on the table.
Now it's on the table.
And he what did he just pluck it out? And he's like, I'm going to put that there so I don't lose it. I'll put that. You know what? I lose the remote all the time, so I'm going to put it next to the remote. That way I don't lose either one of them. I know.
He had to have repositioned it a couple times when it rolled, too.
Yeah, he's like, shit, no, lean it back. I really want them to see the color when they come in the door. I don't know if he's set up or what.
Keep an eye on that area.
Check it. Watch the door for me, will you?
Watch the remote.
Wow.
I don't want it to disappear.
Sorry. Taylor Powell's family, Jesus Christ. This poor kid, it's all horrible. We don't mean to make fun of him. We're not making fun of him, but holy fuck.
I'm making fun of the thought process of a fucking psycho.
That's the thing. And think about the police officer who comes in there, sees that, has to be like, holy shit.
His life has got to be ruined.
It's a small town cop. I mean, he's not it's not like he's used to seeing tragic, horrible murder scenes. And then the guy turns to you and says, I killed him. He had the devil in him.
7 years later, that cop is still fucked up.
Oh, he has to just be, what the fuck just happened? What did I just see? What's going on here? He told then he tells the police that he also removed some of Powell's organs. Like, I took some stuff out, basically. I took some shit for myself here. Wow. He's removing organs, this guy. This is what I'm saying. This is next level batshit here. The house is a disastrous mess. Yeah. It's a complete mess. The police find indentations in the wall where Taylor's head was clearly rammed into the wall. They find like a head mark in the wall where it's repeatedly bashed and there's blood all over the fucking place. I can't tell you how much blood there was. They just kept remarking on how much blood there was. They also find a marijuana growing operation there, too. Somebody's got a grow thing going on. So they're like, that's the least of our problems.
There's another charge, but we'll deal with that later.
Don't care. Let's keep going. The police make one more discovery that is insanely. I think this is the cherry on top. Okay. This is the top layer of the cake here.
Were his balls going?
Police find Powell's charred heart in the wood stove.
What?
He removed his heart from his chest.
Oh, my God.
Placed it in the wood stove.
And it was burned.
It was burned. Apparently, he was planning on eating it.
What?
That was
he was cooking it?
He was cooking it. He just threw it in the stove. Must have forgot about it.
Damn it.
You know when you have something in the oven and you forget it and you're like, oh shit, I have those biscuits in there. Shit. He did that with a human heart.
Unbelievable.
Because I imagine they took it out and he was like, that's where I put that. Fuck.
Shit, it's probably done.
The mushrooms. I forget where I do. I forget when shit goes on. I don't know what to tell you.
Check it. Is it too hard?
Is it ready?
Is it overcooked?
Do it on the inside of your thumb. You press, and if it's this much, it's medium. If it's that much, it's medium rare.
You son of a bitch.
So, Dante Vitullo, a silver-haired middle-aged white man here, says about this crime, not holy shit.
I can't believe he has a comment.
He's got a comment on this in the paper and everything. He says, quote, he was an undefeated champion. You can't get any more silver-haired than this.
He leads with an accomplishment.
Yeah, no, there's more. The whole thing's an accomplishment.
Oh, my God.
He was an undefeated champion, and we were on our way. We pretty much had 2 more fights, and we were on our way up to the UFC.
Holy shit.
So he's like, if only he didn't cut this guy's heart out.
By my count, he only had 1 more fight.
Oh, God. Oh, man. He could have had Joe Rogan talking about him.
He totally won this one.
I would say this you can chalk up in the victory column, but not for the rest of the world that had to fucking deal with this.
Poor Taylor's family took an L, that's for sure. Good grief.
Unbelievable. Yeah, these people, too, they're reading the stuff. Their family is so sweet. The Powell family are the sweetest, nicest people. That's why it's like, sorry, we're not mean to make fun of Taylor, because we're not making fun of Taylor.
We're trying our hardest.
We're trying our hardest to get through this is brutal and grisly, and if we don't make jokes, it's
how do you tell this story?
That's what I mean.
Without him.
How do you tell this story? This is the way I process shit like this. The way you process this.
I dare Dateline to get a hold of this and try to tell it with decency. There's no way.
There's no way.
This is fucking awful.
They might not make jokes about the about the doneness of the heart and the thing, but whatever. You know what I mean? That's what we do. So I'm sorry if you are offended by this at all.
Apologies
and fuck off, because this is what we do. So sorry. This is the show. If you don't like it, unsubscribe.
There you go.
Anyway, moving on. So the March 25th now, 2010. By the way, they arrest him with no issue.
Really?
He puts his hands behind his back. He's like, yeah, no problem.
Solve the devil. Let's get out of here.
That's it. Got to get the devil out of him. I mean, Jesus, that's it. So they take him out of there. He's going crazy for the next 4 days in jail.
Really?
Del Norte sheriff asks for a transfer for Wyatt to a different location.
Really?
They're like, we can't fucking deal with this guy. It's like a small town sheriff's office with the jail, and he says that Wyatt has tried several suicide attempts. This is in 4 days. He's tried several suicide attempts and claimed to see and hear people that aren't there.
Oh, my God.
He claims to see the devil and says that the voices in his head are instructing him to, quote, do violent things. So this sheriff said, for the safety of my staff and other inmates, can we please take this guy somewhere that has facilities that can fucking take care of him? Because we can't.
Put him in a padded cell somewhere elsewhere.
Unbelievable. So, I mean, he grows up shittily, apparently. Yeah. Has this shit, starts boxing when he's 10, has silver-haired, middle-aged white men. He comes up, he makes friends with this guy. He's now punched a 16-year-old, his girlfriend. That pig is fucking destroyed.
And the people that watched it are fucking...
Oh, my God.
They're
Justin
horrified.
Davis, the police officer. I can't imagine the family of Taylor Powell hearing what happened to this
So many
poor
lives.
guy who had his goddamn heart charred in a fucking wood stove. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. I feel so bad for all these people, but not nearly.
There are people with this name.
Not nearly as
How
bad
is that possible?
as I feel for Jarrod Wyatt, engineering and maintenance manager at an auto dealership in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Jarrod Wyatt, national account sales manager at Labatt Food Services.
Oh, he's doing great.
Yeah, in Grand Junction, Colorado. So good for him. He's got legal weed. Jarrod Wyatt, hospital and healthcare professional.
What the fuck?
He's been a direct care worker for the past 8 years in Bastrop, Louisiana. And finally, Jarrod Wyatt, mechanical engineer at Meridian Energy in New Zealand.
Oh, my God.
All the way in New Zealand. He went to the University of Canterbury, which sounds very fancy.
He went to university.
University of Canterbury. It sounds very, very fancy. I
Lots
feel
of
like.
hats there.
Lots of hats. It's very, very fancy. And that's where he went, and he did not kill anybody.
Thank
so watch
goodness.
out for those people, but I feel bad for those people, man.
For real.
Unbelievable. So,
What a terrible story this is. And to share a name with this monster.
It's the worst, man.
Thank God there's only one Jimmie Whisman.
I'm telling you,
In the
man.
entire world, there's only one.
My father is a James Pietragallo,
Really?
but I'm not a junior. With different middle names. And we luckily I don't think he's going to kill anybody anytime soon. If he does, I'm in deep shit. Or maybe I'll kill someone and put him in the fucking in the shit for it. Take that, Dad. How's that? So June 12th, 2010, Wyatt finally, because there's been all this shit with sanity and everything else, he's finally entering a plea.
Okay.
He enters a dual plea to the murder charge. He pleads not guilty and not guilty by reason of insanity. So this basically says, I didn't do it, but
if I did
do it, I was not
crazy as
mentally
fuck.
competent at the time to do it if you decide that I did do it.
Here's
but I didn't
the thing.
do it.
You did do something fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So that may be legit. But you fucking did it because the cops watched you.
And he made statements afterwards.
Right.
He was like, no, I did that.
totally
Cut his
did
heart
it.
out. Did the whole. I mean, he told the cops. We'll get into in the trial exactly what he did because it is disgusting and sick. There's way more details to come.
Oh,
on this.
boy.
Don't worry. Come on. You think I just throw that out there? Not have details? Give me a
This
break
is
here.
fucking shocking.
I read this shit through a half inch of gray. So September 1st, 2011, a preliminary hearing is held to see if there's enough evidence for the DA, John Alexander, to add a special circumstance on the murder charge with the murder charge with torture to charge against him. So you can special circumstance people, which is for sentencing.
Make it aggravated?
Make it like an aggravated
All
thing.
right.
Now, Jarrod's attorney, James Fallman, who this fucking silver-haired middle-aged white guy, I hope he's making overtime. This is a time and a half silver-haired middle-aged white man. He's an asshole. And the things I can't imagine being an attorney, because you figure you're an attorney, you get certain cases where you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this.
Yeah.
How do you defend this?
This one is beyond me. You better have somebody that has done lawyer shit for years and years and
shit.
years.
This is a mess.
This is crazy.
And he tries his ass off too. This is he really tries.
He broke a sweat. He put in his time.
Wow, this is overtime. He insists. This is James Fallman. He insists that his client was on mushrooms the whole time. He's like, that was a big deal, so it shouldn't be special. He says, quote, my client thought he was talking to the devil. Duh.
That doesn't change anything to me.
And I don't see how that helps in court. It's like, oh, the devil, you say? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't realize it was the devil.
Oh, the devil, you say?
Why do you say so? It's the devil. Hey, everybody. No, guys, that was the day. He had the devil, so,
Just throw all the paperwork out. It was the
rid of
devil.
He had to kill him. What else can you do with the devil? You know what I mean? So, continuing in this hearing, the DA, John Alexander, says, quote, we do plan to get justice for Mr. Powell, which I hope they do. In order to get the special circumstances, this is the law of what they must prove. So I'll quote the law here, that Wyatt, quote, intended to kill Powell. Yeah.
I mean, you can't survive with your heart on the outside of your body.
Not for long. That he intended to inflict extreme physical pain and suffering on Powell while he was still alive, that he did indeed inflict extreme physical pain and suffering, and that it was done for the calculated purpose of revenge, extortion, persuasion, or any other sadistic reason.
Wow.
That's special circumstances.
Okay.
Basically, if you tried to make a fucking statement, if you're like a mob boss and you tie someone to a chair and you Michael Madsen them and you cut their ear off, they go, well, that's you're trying to muscle people.
Right.
You fucking can't do that, apparently. I don't know what difference does it make. He ripped a guy's face off. So anyway,
And pulled his eyeball out.
And pulled his eyeball out, which is unreal. So September 1st, same hearing here. Dr. Neil Kushner. He's of the Humboldt County Coroner's Office.
I know where Humboldt County is.
Yeah, honestly, think of that. They had to call in a coroner from another county. That's how small we're dealing with here. The county has like 21,000 people in it.
Unbelievable.
The whole fucking county, and it's a good-sized county.
One of them's a psychopath.
Yeah, probably more, but definitely one. This guy testifies. He said that he examined Powell's body the day after the death. He points out in the photos the large amount of hemorrhaging with many of Powell's wounds. Now, we'll get into what that means. He said, quote, upon examination of the chest cavity, there was a large amount of blood and the heart had been removed. There was a vital reaction in the liver associated with the incision in the chest.
Oh, no.
There would have been a lot of pain associated with. You see where I'm going with this, right? At that point, Powell's mother, Kathy, runs out of the courtroom because she's heard enough.
She's getting what I'm getting right now.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Kushner said that Powell had extensive abrasions and contusions to the face, blunt force trauma to the head, contusions and hemorrhaging in the brain, and a large cut on his scalp. He also said there was extensive hemorrhaging in the tongue tissue and soft eye tissue. Oh, by the way, he cut his tongue out too.
What?
Didn't tell you that part because it's coming up here. All of this says to him that Powell was still alive when all of these wounds happened.
God.
All of them.
Holy shit.
Even alive when his chest was cut open and his heart was removed.
Oh, dear Jesus.
They think he removed his beating heart.
Oh, my God.
Indiana fucking Jones and the Temple of Doom style and held it above his head like a fucking maniac.
God.
Yeah. Let's unpack that. Let's not go on the DA. Let's just, for 1 second.
Because all those medical terms that were just said pointed to the fact that his body was reacting to all of the damage being caused.
Exactly.
Which means there was blood coursing through his body and he was breathing and alive. While his face was field dressed, his eyeball was plucked out, his tongue was cut out, and then his chest was opened and his still beating heart was removed.
This was after this is after some serious blunt force trauma to the head.
Taylor is a tough motherfucker.
He's a tough motherfucker, and this guy is as sick as a person could be.
Wow.
This is by far the sickest son of a bitch we've run into so far, right? I mean, yeah, you can shoot your wife at a garden party. You could be, even Eddie Johnson, who did the most horrific fucking thing I can think of with a child and everything else. This is worse.
This is horrific.
This is some horror movie monster shit. Like literally, this is you would expect better behavior out of Dracula.
This is the stuff that my children come into my bedroom and tell me they're scared of.
Well, here he is. Now you can.
Holy shit.
Now you can reassure them that he is real.
Yeah, the boogeyman exists.
Let's find out if he's off the streets.
Oh my God.
So yeah, all of this suggests that he was alive. Like I said, unbelievable.
That right there, sir, is the heart of the story. You know what I'm saying?
You punning son of a bitch.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Psychotic. What the fuck behavior? What the fuck?
That's the only way to describe it. This is a big pile of what the fuck.
Oh my God.
The judge should have said that when bringing the case to
what the fuck?
Bring to order the case of what the fuck just happened here. Anybody explain this shit to me?
When you were describing all that stuff, my face went cold.
Oh, I know. You were like, no fucking way. That's a detail I hid from Jimmie out of this case that he didn't know because I wanted your natural reaction to that.
Holy shit!
Because my natural reaction at 2:30 in the morning in my dining room table reading this was, what the fuck? No.
How do you get to that point? Like,
no,
because the dude they did the mushrooms. Mm-hmm. The dude left. Mm-hmm. He sobered up and came back to get his dog. You would presume that everybody else that took mushrooms
that's what I mean.
Has sobered up by now.
When he came in, he probably thought they'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
They'll be sleeping. Hopefully they let my dog out or fed it or gave it some water or something. No, they're not sleeping. This guy.
They're still under full control of those mushrooms.
Let's also talk about mushrooms for a moment because like I said, I don't know how that affect, brain damage and mushrooms is affected, but I've never even heard of somebody freaking out on like on acid. Someone might freak out.
Heard of weird
mushrooms
shit.
Are mild when it comes to that.
I've never even heard anybody like harming anybody on acid. I've heard of like
they harm themselves.
Yeah,
they'll jump out of a fucking. Well, I've heard a couple of stories there. Who knows if they were even true?
Right.
Like the inflammatory shit from the 70s where they were like kids are killing each other and ripping their intestines out and shit like that. But you don't expect it. No. And then mushroom. I've never heard of this reaction to mushrooms. Ever.
Mushrooms, I've always seen like a weepy-eyed fucking dude with long hair be like, dude, you want some mushroom? Like a fucking weirdo.
You giggle for a while.
Right.
Whoa. But this guy.
Do you see the colors? That shit. Not this guy's got the devil in him. I need to pull it out.
It starts with his heart. Oh, wait, no, his eyeball.
And his tongue and his face skin.
Christ.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Now, the DA, John Alexander, asks if his findings were if Kushner's findings, the doctor, were consistent with Wyatt's statement to a detective that said that he cut out Powell's tongue and heart with scissors. He opened his chest
with scissors.
He opened his chest and then clipped off whatever's connecting it.
Oh my God!
Clipped off the arteries or whatever and yanked the goddamn thing out. Same thing with his tongue.
And you know it was the same scissors he fucking trims the dingleberries off the dogs with.
Oh, I'm sure it's the same.
Some filthy ass.
He trims up his mohawk with them. I'm sure this fucking asshole. So Kushner said that yes, it was. And he also said it would have been very painful because, quote, there are a considerable amount of nerves in the tongue.
Oh, my God.
No shit.
Jesus.
Also examined the heart, tongue, and eyeball separately from the body, just on their own. He played with it, knocked it around a little bit. He played some marbles with the eyeball. Now, the attorney Fallman asked Kushner whether the hemorrhaging could have been caused in another way. He said, quote, with choking of someone, isn't it accompanied by hemorrhaging of the eyeballs? Yeah. And he's working OT, this fucking guy. He's like, let me find something. Yeah. I don't know. That's all I can find.
Have you ever heard of an eyeball popping out?
Let's just
from
say
choking.
Let's just say he choked him to death while he was still alive. Then what? And then he didn't. Then he removes it after death. Does that make it better? I guess he's trying to. I don't know. He's really working hard.
He's trying.
He's earning his silver hair. This guy. Kushner said that yes, that sometimes happens, but I doubt it here.
Right.
Fallman also asked him if there were any injuries that could have been the singular cause of death. Mm-hmm. You think? Kushner answered, yes, the removal of the heart. Yeah. And he added, you fucking dummy, in the middle of court. Jesus Christ.
Maybe the heart.
Maybe the heart.
Maybe
fucking
maybe
shit.
Opening his chest could have made him bleed to death.
And then removing the heart.
Right.
Also, blunt force trauma to the head. He said that could have done it too.
Amongst other organs in there.
Pretty sure that heart thing did it based on the other shit.
Kind of the one.
He said, quote, Kushner said, quote, it's hard to say whether Powell was conscious or unconscious during the blunt force trauma. It's possible a person would feel some pain even if they were partly unconscious.
Yeah.
Fallman asked if any of the injuries came after death, and Kushner said that possibly some of the facial injuries were the only ones, but not the tongue, heart, everything else. He said maybe he ripped his face off after he died.
All right.
I don't know why. Why would you do that?
Right.
Yeah. So during these closing arguments now, there's closing arguments. Fallman said that the state had Fallman, the defense attorney, is trying to tell them that the state had not met. This isn't even the trial.
Here's the one thing, though. I got to interject. In that trial, if I'm the fucking police or anybody, I'd have just been like, the fucking witness said he came through the door, the face was gone, and the chest was still closed.
Yeah, and he said, I'm going to cut his heart out now.
None of that shit happened until all that stuff on his face happened, and then he pulled the heart out.
Maybe.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, I think he had a face when Davis was there.
Okay.
He had a face and eyeballs and a tongue.
All right.
So he wasn't dead yet.
Okay.
And then he did all of that in the time it took him to call the cops and everything else. He even had it cooked a fucking medium well.
Yeah. All that shit. That's a lot of stuff to do.
And keep in mind, this is not the trial.
Yeah.
This is the
opening.
This is the a hearing about the special circumstances.
Decide.
Just whether they're going to put special circumstances on the charges.
Oh my
this
God.
is all coming out. Fallman, the defense attorney, silver-haired, middle-aged white man extraordinaire, said that the state had not met the burden of proof for special circumstances, saying that there was no calculated purpose for all this. He said, quote, the mere fact that horrible pain is inflicted is not enough.
Wow.
This might be the silverest man we've ever encountered.
That is a dicky thing to say.
This could be the silverest guy ever, right?
The fact that he really fucked him up means nothing.
No, just that's not important here. Let's talk about what really is important. Now, DA John Alexander, the district attorney, said that Wyatt stated that he cut out the tongue because Powell was still whispering. What? That's why he cut out the tongue.
Or he was just imagining that he was whispering.
That's the thing, yeah. But he was probably going, please stop,
right.
Don't fucking kill me anymore. He says, quote, when you look at the totality of the circumstances, this definitely satisfies a sadistic reason. I would say no shit to that.
I just saw in my head from Full Metal Jacket that the girl going, shoot me.
Yeah, the sniper.
Yeah.
The sniper.
Hilarious. Hilarious. I can't believe I just said that.
What a fucking mess, man. This is what we're dealing with. This is a disaster. This still hasn't even gone to trial yet.
Terrible.
I mean, he's sitting in his cell trying not to kill himself, probably, I would think. Well, I mean, trying to kill himself. He's tried 4 times already. He says he tries to say that he's mentally incompetent. If you're the attorney, what else do you have?
Not much.
You just say, he's fucking crazy. Have you talked to this guy for 5 minutes, will you? Listen, literally.
He's tried to kill himself in his cell 4 times. We have been here for 11 days.
Let's go over what he did. Let's just look at what the police saw when they arrived, and you tell me that's normal behavior. And I don't think it fucking was. So, he's sitting in a cell. I mean, his cell's probably gross too. It's just a gray mess. It's in a shitty small thing. You know what I mean? And then the bar's open. And it's Dexter Manley, interior decorator from New York City. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? This place is a mess. It's terrible in here. Good God. What are you wearing?
So drab.
What are you wearing? It's neat. I could spruce it up. I could put some curtains. Is that an eyeball? We're going to have to put that somewhere. You can't leave that out. That's not a design, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to store that somewhere for you.
I'm going to design something for you. It's going to be wonderful. It's great. I love it. But just how are you here? I mean, seriously, why'd you come here? What's wrong with you? And then he leaves. Poof, in a cloud of smoke. He's gone.
In a cloud of rainbow smoke.
In a cloud of glitter. He's gone. Poof, out of there.
Hilarious.
And it's right back to his cell in drab, and he probably hallucinated it. He's like, did I just see that?
What the fuck was that?
I should have cut his fucking heart out. He said, I will cut your heart out. So on May 7th, 2012... doctor testifies, there's a doctor testifying about his competency, that Wyatt is incompetent to stand trial, according to this doctor, because he's unaware of the court proceedings. He'll be examined by other people. For some reason, later on, 2 weeks later, the defense goes to the judge and he goes, I explained it to him. He gets shit now. Now he's fine. Literally was like, he's not crazy.
Right.
It's like the judge was like, okay, we got to clear this up. Does he understand shit or not? And the defense literally said, I think it's okay now. We're fine. He said, I explained shit to him. I think he gets it.
We had a sit down.
Literally.
Told him that hearts aren't cool to cut out.
They're like, he understands what's going on in court now, because that's the only way they can say that you're not competent to stand trial is if you literally don't understand what's going on.
Okay.
Like you have no idea where you are or why you're there. Okay, so that's the only way. And he says, I explained it to him. He knows where he is. He understands why he's here, so we can proceed, which is an odd thing for a defense attorney to do. You think he'd go, I keep trying. He's just crazy. He's fucking crazy. He ate a guy's, he ripped his face off. What do you want from me? I don't know. What am I, a magician?
Trust his friend.
Wow. And a pig. So on May 15th, 2012, the judge requests a competency hearing. He's like, let's get this all cleared up. And so they find on May 26, 2012, the judge rules him competent to stand trial. Thank fuck for that.
Yeah, no doubt.
We need to get this guy put away, I think.
Let's fucking move it right along.
Wow. On August 31st, 2012, there's pretrial motions. Wyatt will be. This is crazy. This is like just laying out what's going to happen in this court case for the day or for the trial. Wyatt will be, for the whole proceeding. For the trial, he will be chained to a 150-pound chair.
Wow.
They're going to chain him down so he can't, I don't know, rip anybody's eyeballs out, we'll say. DA said, quote, he will be chained to the heavy chair, restricting his mobility. Good for all of us.
That's a fucking badass chair.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I have a lazy boy in my house. I don't think it weighs 150 pounds.
I need one of those for my son.
Yeah.
So I have a 9-year-old son with ADHD. Fucking get him something like that. Christ almighty. He'd be like, this is great exercise. I love it. Trying to get out of here.
Bench press it.
Jesus. So he will have the use of his arms so he can write and motion to his attorney and do shit like that. They can't just Hannibal Lecter him and pull him in pull him in.
If there's ever a candidate for it, he's it.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
He deserves a mask and the whole 9 yards, a dolly and all that shit.
He really does. Man. So September 7th, 2012, this is 4 days before the trial is set to begin.
Okay.
A trial is going to go on. Wyatt decides he doesn't want to go for trial. He pleads guilty to first-degree murder.
Good call.
Pleads guilty to first-degree murder. He agrees to a preliminary agreement of 50 years to life, making him eligible for parole in 2062. They just wanted some kind of parole. His poor, long-suffering asshole attorney here, James Fallman, said, quote, we looked for an agreement that would at least give him the opportunity to be paroled someday. He was too damn high for it to be premeditated. As bad as 50 years to life sounds, it's better than life without the possibility of parole.
Or the death penalty.
Or the death penalty, which originally they were looking at it, and then they ended up taking that off the table. But official sentencing will be the next month in October, on October 4th.
That makes him 79.
Yeah, exactly, when he gets out. So that's probably not going to happen. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Guys like this live forever.
Yeah,
assholes like this live forever.
They do.
Of the plea, DA, the district attorney, John Alexander, said, quote, "The earliest he'll be able to see a parole board is 2062. We saved Taylor's family the agony from reliving the incident at trial," which is true. Attorney Fallman here again said that Wyatt took the deal because he didn't want to have his family testify or testify himself. He just wanted it over with, and he was seeing shit anyway. He was coming down hard. Also, they charged him with a firearm infraction.
Really?
Even though it wasn't used in the crime, that's the thing that warrants an automatic 50-year because there was a firearm around when he did this.
Oh,
so that
nice.
gives him an automatic 50-year. That's going to come up in a second, though, here.
They left the weed growing operation out of it entirely?
Yeah, they just said whatever.
Wash it? Wow.
Well, it's California, too. The laws for weed aren't that stiff. I mean, they're like, what are we going to charge him with there? We're trying to get him for 100 years and, get him off. Now, October 2nd, 2 days before official sentencing, the plea deal is revised. They have to vacate the pleas and redo it differently. This time, Wyatt pleads guilty to first-degree murder and 3 counts of mayhem. Okay, now this, he will serve 47 years to life for this. This will get rid of the gun charge. And the reason why they got rid of the gun charge was actually really smart legal maneuvering on the part of the DA. He said, quote, "Research over the weekend convinced me that there was a distinct possibility that the plea might not have held up several years down the line in an appellate court. Obviously, he was discussed with Taylor's mother, and she was amenable to it, and I'm glad we were able to craft something I'm totally confident will stand up to an appeal."
Nice.
Because later on, they would have came to court and said, well, there was no gun used in this crime, so why is that on there? Take that off of there. Oh, you've been in jail 15 years, time served, now you're going to go fucking for parole.
Fuck.
Which is smart. That's what he was thinking, doing this shit. Instead, he gets him now. He agrees to 47 years as the minimum. Final sentencing is on October 4th. Many of Powell's relatives testified during sentencing, which is good.
For
they
them.
came show us support. Powell's sister, Erin, said, quote, "Powell lived a life of dignity and respect, and his death was neither of those. I struggle to believe his life was actually complete." Well, he's 21.
Not wrong. Yeah.
He's 21. His life was not complete. He had a lot left to do. Poor guy. And then the poor mother here, Kathy Powell, she said, she's so nice. She said a lot of things about... They asked her about how this has affected her. She works at an ophthalmologist, so she says she sees eyeballs every day.
Oh, my
and she can't
God.
help but think of her son. And like this, basically, she gave statements of just torment.
The only thing worse would be if she was a cardiologist. She dealt with somebody's heart all day. Jesus.
And she felt terrible because she was visiting her other son in Tennessee when this happened. So she felt like she wasn't.
Yeah, she should have been there.
She said, "I felt like I wasn't there for my son," even though she said, "I took it for granted that he would be there. He would always be there." And it's so sad.
He's off in California living his dream, and Jesus.
And this is how nice this woman is. This is how nice. The Wyatt family was also at this sentencing hearing, and she also was mad at Fallman. She kept talking shit about Fallman in the press because she was upset that Fallman would not let her contact the family.
Really?
She wanted to talk to the Wyatt family.
Yeah, because they're both losing their sons.
She wanted to let them know that she was not upset with them and that she forgives them.
Wow.
This is how nice she is. In court, her last thing she says, she motions to the Wyatt family and says, quote, "I know it breaks your family also. Both of our families have been affected by this. I'm so sorry." She's saying I'm so sorry to them. That's how nice of a person she is.
What a heart. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean... Oh, good God.
Jesus Christ. At least she's
That was a complete accident. And
she's a man.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. That's a mess. That's okay.
I feel like a piece of shit.
Nah, pun number 2. It's fine. We'll call it pun number 2.
She's a wonderful woman.
She's a wonderful woman.
Good God.
With a great attached heart. She described how she got the call and everything, like how they called her. They called her, and apparently the husband got the call and didn't believe it. They told the husband, blah, blah, blah. And she said she heard the husband go, "You're lying. I don't believe you. Who is this?" Like, he thought they were full of shit. So it was really difficult.
That's how much they believed in their boy.
The mother was not aware of the mutilation being before he died until after the second hearing. She found out in court. They told her that these wounds were post-mortem and that he didn't suffer in all of this. And it turns out in court, she finds out that he suffered as much as a human being could possibly suffer.
That's the worst thing to tell a mother.
That's why she ran out of that courtroom that I told you about there. That was why. That's horrible, man. It's horrible. So on October 4th, Del Norte Superior Court Judge William Follett says, holy shit, too. This is coming from a judge who sees everything. Said, quote, "The murders I see are so often senseless, but the brutality and horror involved in this case exceed all of the bounds I have seen."
No doubt.
So when the judge is like, dude, you're the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. You're in tough shit. You, sir, may fuck off 4 consecutive life sentences. Eat a dick.
Wow.
Still eligible for parole in 47 years.
He's not going to get it.
He's not going to get it.
Way.
They're going to take one look at his file and go, oh,
you're that guy.
Well, you're the guy with the eyeball. No, we're not letting you out. No.
The eyeball was the minimalist part of your case. Get the fuck out of here.
Part of it. There's so much more attached to you. Now, October 4th. Same case here. This is the sentencing. The DA Alexander said, quote, "If you listened to the Powell family yesterday and Wyatt's family weep in the hallway, you saw 2 families broken and devastated for life. No shit."
Fuck yeah.
And Fallman said, Wyatt's attorney said, quote, I thought it was very sad. The statements people made were very heartbreaking. Don't use the word heart in your thing.
What a shitbag.
Idiot. So stupid.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, I felt like a dick and apologized. And this is his fucking lawyer.
This is on the courthouse steps right afterwards.
What an asshole.
So you have to be even more sensitive because it just happened. He said, people made were very heartbreaking. When somebody dies, there's never a good result for anybody. Well, no fucking shit.
That's the truth. But, sir, this was exceptionally gross. Exceptionally horrible.
And horrible.
It's a horrifying. You never want your kid to go through that.
No,
ever.
No, and then to find out why he was still alive
in court.
In court, from a medical examiner who's clinically describing it. It's not like somebody sat you down and said, "Okay," and they sensitively gave you the information.
Right.
This is a medical examiner coldly saying his heart was ripped from his chest and cut with scissors, and his eyeball was removed. I mean, how do you fucking hear that? It's got to be worse hearing it clinically like that rather than somebody with some emotional involvement with it for you. But that's horrible. So Jarrod Wyatt is currently in San Quentin.
Good.
They sent him to San Quentin.
The most terrible place in California next to Pelican Bay.
About the most terrible guy we can think of. I mean, honestly, I can't think of somebody worse than him.
That's the kind of guy that deserves to be in that shithole.
We've had a lot of murder and a lot of horrible shit happen, but I'm trying to think of what's second place. I guess it's burning that girl in the car, the Craig Titus
That's
deal.
pretty bad.
Craig Titus and what was her name?
But
Kelly
she
Ryan.
was dead already.
She was dead already. They did stun gun her. And
maybe the grooming of the entire family.
Joe's son. He didn't kill anybody. But you know what, though? Here, let's get into some stuff here. We have for you guys a surprise tonight. We have a surprise tonight. First of all, since it's the end of the first year of Crime in Sports, we have a couple surprises for you tonight. First, we're going to go over the rules with you.
Oh, fantastic.
These are the rules that we've accumulated over time because a lot of people, you'll hear us go, oh, Jesus, don't name your son after yourself, or oh, don't find religion.
Right.
These are rules that we've accumulated, and we're going to explain them to you, where they came from, why we have them.
Right.
And then after that, we have the most fun ever. I worked on this. This is a surprise. We are going to have the Crime in Sports Year 1 Scummy Awards. The Scummies.
We're giving away Scummies.
It's an honor to receive a Scummy.
Should we send them something to their jail cell if they're still alive?
There is no honor on or off the field that matches the prestige of receiving a Scummy. None. MVP? No.
I am so proud of you for a pun like Scummy.
Scummy. World heavyweight champion? No. The Scummy is on top of it all.
So good.
The Scummy tops the pile. But before we get into that, I do want to say one thing here from... I have to complain about something here, and it's a fucking complaint. And you've heard me complain about Skip Bayless before, and I have a new Skip Bayless, Jimmy. Yeah. I have a fucking new one. I'm so fucking angry at this shit. I don't know if any of you guys ever listen to Colin Cowherd.
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd's a sports guy, and like I said, crime and sports people, crime people. Give me about 2 minutes, and we'll get into the Scummies, and we'll get into lots of funny shit about criminal athletes. But for 1 second, I have to rant about this cocksucker. I listen to Colin Cowherd's show once in a while just to keep up on sport shit, basically. And it's basically like, hey, who won last night? Is this guy hurt? It was, Russell Westbrook keeps having triple doubles. Terrific. I need to know some sports shit, basically, okay? And I don't have cable, so I can't fucking watch like highlight shows. So I need radio and podcasts. So this is what I do. So I listen to this asshole, and he consistently does the same bullshit as Skip Bayless. He is now the new Skip Bayless.
Cowherd?
Cowherd's the new Skip Bayless because he does it in a way that's not so obnoxious, but he's still, every one of his, quote, little fucking hot takes are just the opposite of logic.
Yeah, it's just him.
I don't know.
I'm going to be bold as fuck.
I'm going to be bold. I'm just going to tell you, Tom Brady's going to have a terrible game. No, he's fucking not. And you know he's fucking not. And you're betting on them, you fucking asshole.
He's playing the Jets, Cowherd. Fuck you.
And it goes from week to week to week. Literally.
It's true.
He will rip fucking somebody, and the next week he'll be saying how great. It's like, dude, we were here last week. What is wrong with you? And then to make matters worse, he has hooked himself up with that fucking hack Jason Whitlock, who is worse than him and Skip Bayless put together. This piece of shit has no fucking scruples at all. He's this guy, and I'm going to say this, and I'm a white guy, whatever, I can't say whatever. He's a fucking black guy that says whatever you would think the opposite of what a black guy would say. That's his game. That's his fucking game. If you're up there going, isn't Martin Luther King great? He's going to come up with a reason why Martin Luther King isn't so fucking great.
What a dildo.
Fat fuck. And then these two now have decided to get together.
Fuck.
He's a fat fuck, too. These two have decided to get together and have a show where they jerk each other off, supporting each other's bullshit.
Worst.
It's the fucking worst. This guy's a hack. Stop listening to him. Turn him off or listen to him. See how fucking bad he is and then tweet at him, you hack fat fuck. Stop it with your goddamn fucking... this guy makes me so goddamn mad. He does it with everything. He's this old... He is the typical... He's trying to be Bill Cosby before he was raping, before everyone knew he was a rapist. He's trying to be Bill Cosby, pull up your pants bullshit. That's his whole thing. Pull up your pants, pull up your pants.
Everybody be a gentleman.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Pull up your pants. He tried to say the other day that LeBron fucking James, who is not allowed to have a fucking political opinion. LeBron James. Now, I'm sorry. LeBron James, number one, there's a goddamn city that has an economic fucking rebirth because of only him. He has made... Probably, and I don't give a shit what your politics are, Trump's a marketing guy and his net worth is marketing. I guarantee you LeBron has more liquid dollars than fucking Donald Trump does. And he's not allowed to have a fucking opinion on shit. Why is that?
There's like 7 stars in the NBA, and none of them are as big of a star as LeBron.
Jason Whitlock went on a whole goddamn huge rant about LeBron shouldn't keep his mouth shut and all that. Go fuck yourself.
Eat shit, Jason.
How about you keep your mouth shut? What the fuck have you done to earn your fucking opinion?
What have you done, Jason?
What have you done to earn your goddamn fucking opinion?
You latched on to Colin Cowherd, who already had a huge audience.
Colin Cowherd, he tries so hard to spoon feed Whitlock to us. He keeps saying, we're going to have Whitlock. Guess what? No one watches Whitlock's fucking show.
Nobody wants Jason Whitlock, Colin.
No one cares.
Fuck you.
Stop being, and Cowherd's a smart guy, which pisses me off. When you hear him, he's a smart guy, and he could be fucking better. That's why I know it's calculated. I really think Skip Bayless is like, he thinks he found something like, I can just say dumb shit and they'll listen. I feel like he thinks he discovered fucking plutonium, whereas Cowherd has a goddamn chart where he's like, if I say this, it'll piss these people off, driving ratings here.
He's got like bubble graphs and shit, drawn arrows.
He's a cock-sucking mad scientist is what he is.
He thinks he's a defensive coordinator driving his audience.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, sorry I had to get that out of my system, but sports people, you'll get me. Now, okay. That's been bothering me all week. All right. Now, first of all, I'd like to explain the rules. And I'd also like to explain the origins of a couple things. You hear us say silver-haired, middle-aged white man all the time.
It's a very common theme in this show.
Everybody, that's their enabler. Yeah. Okay, that's the guy, usually a coach, usually somebody like that, who no matter what the detriment this person is to society, they will back them and do whatever it is to keep them out of trouble if it benefits the silver-haired, middle-aged white man personally.
That money has got to keep coming in.
It's a lawyer, it's a coach, it's guys like that, and it doesn't. They
don't
have
an agent. It's a fucking best friend.
Yes, they don't have to be silver-haired or white, but it turns out most of the time they fucking are. They're silver-haired, middle-aged white men, so it became a thing.
Right.
Also, we've had a lot of people ask us where the shawarma man and the Mexican pimp came from.
Two different episodes.
Mexican pimp is Willie Mays Aikens episode. I believe it's 26. Willie Mays Aikens was in a motel room in Mexico. He was a World Series hero a couple years before, and now he's out of the league playing baseball in Mexico. He had bought a hooker, and while he was in the bathroom doing a shitload of coke because he had a horrible cocaine problem, that's why he was in Mexico. While he was doing a bunch of coke, the hooker had robbed him and run away and taken all his money. So a few minutes later, he's sitting there broke with no hooker.
Feeling like shit.
Wired out of his mind, and there's a knock at the door, and he opens it, and it's a Mexican pimp with 2 guns blazing, looking at him.
Pointing at him,
thinking he robbed him.
Right.
The guy comes in. The Mexican pimp recognized who he was because it had been in the local paper that a big star.
Felt pity.
Put the guns down, poured him a drink, called him over, and just sat him there and said, "How is it you've come to arrive here?" That was what he said to him. He said in Spanish, "How is it you've come to arrive here?"
He actually said to him, "How the fuck this happened to you, man?"
In Spanish, and it sounded beautiful. And I said, that's the question we need to ask every single athlete. How is it you've come to arrive here? And then the shawarma man was Dave Meggett. I think it's episode 30 or 31, 32, something like that.
Right.
Dave Meggett was accused of rape.
Landlord.
Yeah, he was accused of rape like 8 times.
Yeah.
And his lawyers were trying to smear one of his victims.
Right.
So they got a statement from her ex-landlord in the paper, and it was clearly a foreigner.
Yeah.
Like there was words. It said,
was
like,
awesome.
She say she have money, then she no give to us, was the exact quote. I was like, she say she have money, then she no give to us. And then it turned into, I don't know how that happened.
Sounds like a guy that sells shawarma. I think that's what you said.
Yeah, sounds like somebody who sells shawarma. Next thing you know, I made up a fucking song, and here we are.
And he fucking exists now.
Now he exists. And Dexter Manley, interior designer, was from last episode when there was a guy actually named Dexter Manley who was an interior designer. We know that's not his real name.
That's so great. It's too perfect.
That's the only reason why I do that voice is because he named himself Dexter Manley, interior designer. He is flamboyant. I got to come up with like some house music for his shit.
His name was like Girly, and he was like, I can't do that one. Everybody keeps making fun of me. I'm going
Dexter. Dexter's strong. Dexter. Sounds like I'm a big, strong man. And then Manly. I'm just a Dexter man. Doesn't get any better than that. Yes. And then he looked it up and was like, fuck.
And he snapped and everything.
But he already had business cards made up when he found out. He was like, God damn it.
I have to run with it.
I guess I'm Dexter Manley. Now, so we're going to go over a couple of our rules with you here. These are the rules we've come up with over time. Number 1, wait till you hear the Scummies, by the way. They're going to be great. Number 1, never move back to your hometown. Ever. Leave and stay gone. Yeah. If you're an athlete and you're a big star and you start to crumble and you move back to your hometown, good Lord, you'll be in prison in 6 months.
No time at all.
You will be doing cocaine,
because you resort to all
people.
You resort back to the same old friends doing the same old bad shit, and guess what you fall into?
Bullshit.
Right.
Now, when things are going badly, do not get married.
Yeah.
Don't get married.
Don't do that.
How many people have we had just got out of prison and then they had another crack arrest and they just got kicked out of the league and they're like, I know, I'll get married now. And they're like, then he got married. You're like, why? Why? Clearly every decision you are making right now is wrong.
Right.
Do not commit yourself legally.
Somebody else make your decisions for you.
Wow. Stop committing yourself to another human being legally. What the fuck is wrong with you? Also, keep your silver-haired middle-aged white man close.
Keep him close.
The guys who get away with shit and actually get out of prison and rejoin society have very, very strong silver-haired middle-aged white man support, and it works for them. Do not have a teenager in your hit squad.
Ever.
We've had this happen a couple times. First with Bruno Fernandez de Souza, who killed his girlfriend, chopped her up, and had her fed to a dog.
Yeah. It was his cousin.
He had a teenage cousin who ended up flipping on him and telling the whole story to the
Big
police.
problem.
And a documentary and everything else. So don't do that. We had a couple other times where somebody had like a 17-year-old kid and like, what are you doing?
Don't do that. No minors.
Absolutely. Do not, when things are going bad, do not find religion. No religion. Stop it. If you've made it this far without religion, it's not going to fucking help you. It will take you down farther down the path of wrong. It just will. Normally, I'm not saying that does that to everybody, but if you're a criminal athlete with charges pending, there's just something about finding religion that makes you go out and do the same shit over again, but worse this time.
It's the icy part of the slope. It's just straight the fuck down.
Totally, man. That's the perfect analogy. You said that before. I'm like, yes, that's right. You got it, dude. You nailed that shit, man. Don't find religion. And finally, number 1, and most importantly, for the love of Christ, don't name your kids after yourself.
It's so bad.
Don't. Out of 53 episodes, now this is our 53rd, we have had, I believe it's 15 juniors. 15 juniors.
Almost a third of them.
And that doesn't count the juniors who they named after themselves, who then did shit that we just haven't done a story on yet. Holy shit.
It's terrible.
It really is remarkable, honestly. At first, it was funny. We were like, that's like 3 guys named Junior. And then by 50, you're like, dude, what the
fuck?
What the fuck is going on here? This is an epidemic. There's
just don't do it. Junior doesn't fucking... Just because you're proud of yourself and you want a guy to carry on your fucking legacy, just give him your last name and move on.
It's fine. Give him your middle name after you. Name him your middle name. Right. Or give him your same first name but a different middle name. Like my father had the decency to do, so I'm not a fucking criminal. Thanks, Dad. Jesus Christ almighty. So, yeah, those are our rules in general. That was so fun. And there's a couple that are very specific to episodes, but those are the ones that come up repeatedly and constantly, and that we really feel like everybody should know, especially if you're an athlete out there, especially if you're an athlete that might be getting into some trouble. Keep those rules close to your heart. Now, let's get into it, Jimmy. This is amazing. I'm so excited. The pageantry involved in the year 1 Crime in Sports Scummy Awards. Yes. Let's do it. These are the scummiest people. No honor matches at Jimmy. No honor. No honor. No honor at all. Now,
how did you do the categories? This I can't wait for.
First, we have a couple of honoraries. There's no competition for it. It's like when they give someone a Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that. It's not a competitive category, just somebody. We are giving the Golden Gilretha Award for Best Mother of a Criminal Athlete. This is for Most Supportive Mother of a Criminal Athlete. No matter what they do, she's got court every day.
There.
She flies to another state to be there. This goes to Gilretha Dotson.
Yes,
this is
she was so good.
Carlton Dotson's mother. I believe it's episode 11 or 12. We're naming the award after her, giving her the first annual. She stuck with this guy after he killed a guy, possibly tried to cut his head off in the desert, and just went basically batshit. She's still stuck there. She said it was her fault. She was like, she was begging, can I serve the time for him? That's how bad she felt for the whole thing.
Don't blame Baylor. Don't blame the coach.
Blame me.
Mama
Gilretha.
Mama Gilretha did it wrong.
So the Golden Gilretha Awards there, that goes to her.
Gilretha Dotson.
Also, too, I got to give this award. It's another honorary award. It's but not nearly as bad as award. Okay, this is for the unluckiest non-athlete with the name of a criminal athlete.
All right,
the unluckiest one that you're like, dude, they're gonna really think that's him. That goes to Art Schleister. This poor Art Schleister, it's exact same spelling, and that's a really, really rare name.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
There's a CH in that shit.
And Art Schleister, if you remember, had all sorts of financial crimes. If you go back and listen to Art Schleister.
A swindler like a motherfucker.
Swindler, he ruined people's lives. He's a horrible person. Stole money from everybody he ever came in contact with, was a horrible gambler, all this shit. Well, this poor Art Schleister's a financial advisor. He wants you to give him your money.
Like the fucking luck.
In Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and you need some financial advice, give Art Schleister a try. It's not his fault. It's just not his fault. He's not going to gamble your money away. Or maybe he will. Don't put that on me. But he won't do it.
But at least this isn't the same guy.
Not the same guy.
There might be 2 swindlers.
Now we have competitive categories
here.
This is the first annual Skip Bayless Award for the biggest liar.
Can I guess?
This is the big. Well, we have 3. Right. We have 3, and then you're gonna. We have Lenny Dykstra is up for this award.
Yeah.
Art Schleister also up for this award. Russell Erksleben is the third one, with an honorable mention. We're not going to put him in because he was just last week. But honorable mention to Dexter Manley, who had a full rant on how much of a con man, cheat, manipulator, and liar he was.
I'm tempted not to give it to him anyway, just because he admitted it. Yeah. The other 3 just like. They're trying to fucking act like they're upstanding people still.
Yes, they are. I am going to give this award, Jimmy. This is a real toss-up because all these people did, but the fashion that he did it in, it goes to Lenny Dykstra.
Yes.
It goes to Lenny Dykstra.
That's where I was going with, too.
He
lied to HBO.
He lied to everybody.
On camera, talking about how great his life is in a fucking empty mansion that was up for fucking auction.
He owed millions and millions of dollars, and he literally said, I have money, and took
$70 out of his pocket.
$70 in bills out of his pocket. It's like, see, I have money. They were like, that's not what you owe. $10 million. That's like $80.
That doesn't pay the water bill here.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. So Lenny Dykstra for being a complete liar, piece of shit, and also too for the one of the funnier awful statements that anyone's ever made of. I'm not racist. I don't hate women. Look at my magazine. Look at the first 3 magazines I put out.
This is the best quote ever.
Look at the covers. 2 darkies and a bitch.
The bitch part puts it right the fuck
Two
over.
darkies and a bitch.
Two darkies and a bitch.
So these three were a toss-up, honestly, and the two darkies and a bitch comment put it over the top.
Absolutely.
For the Biggest Liar award. Congratulations to Lenny Dykstra. Hope you keep
Hope
that
you're
in
doing
good health.
well eating all that pussy, because that's his new claim to
he
fame.
loves
He
it,
was
yeah.
on Howard Stern fucking pimping
That's
how
all
much
he talks about now. It's crazy.
What a vile human being.
Our next category here is the best self-given nickname ever. We have guys who love to give themselves nicknames, which should be another rule.
That's
Don't
a
give yourself
popular
a
one,
nickname.
yeah.
First of all, we have Clifford Etienne with the Black Rhino.
Yeah.
We have Evangelos Goussis with the Vampire Gigolo.
Oh, this is going to be tough because I know the last one.
Robert Rozier as
the Gorilla Pimp.
The Gorilla Pimp. This is a tough one.
I like Vampire Gigolo.
Yes, well, that was a self-give. That wasn't given to Evangelo Goussis.
Right.
That was the guy, one of the guys who was killed.
Oh, that's right.
Was a victim,
Yeah.
was
The guy that he
Vampire
killed
Gigolo.
would call
But he
himself
was
the
proud of the Vampire Gigolo. So what do you think here out of these three, Jim? I'm going to let you award this category.
I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Gorilla Pimp.
I think you should. Yeah, the Gorilla Pimp. Yeah, I think you're right.
He wins.
Robert
He definitely
Rozier,
wins. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Serving life in prison in California. We'll go ahead and send you that award. Don't worry about that. Now, Best Silver-Haired Middle-Aged White Man Award. This is the most helpful.
Oh, this is a good one.
The person who has caused us the most shit with their enabling.
Right.
Okay, we have three choices here.
Okay.
Number one is going to actually be Fallman from the case we just covered.
All right.
Working overtime, working hard, getting in at the last second. Number two is going to be Coach Pagone.
Oh, yeah.
Way back in episode number 2, if you listen to Lawrence Phillips, that is also the origin of In Their Own Words.
Right.
And the In Their Own Words music is because Lawrence Phillips is writing letters to his old coach.
In crayon. It wasn't, but that's what we imagined.
It sounded like a 10-year-old writing a letter from camp. He was like, "Dear Coach Pagone, it's really rough in here. The guys are jerks." Like, that's literally what he was saying. So I went home and I put together, and the song is actually called Letters from Camp. That's the title from the song, because I thought it was just going to be for that episode.
That's awesome.
And then I said, fuck it, let's just put it under all their quotes.
Everybody.
And make them sound super melodramatic and fucking hilarious. So with this one, and the third one is Pete Rozelle.
Okay.
Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the 80s, who oversaw, of the NFL commissioner in the 80s, who oversaw more cocaine, craziness, reinstatement of suspensions that should have never been reinstated, and every fucking thing else. And the winner in this category goes to Pete Rozelle for pure volume.
For
Pete,
just fucking everything up.
he just had so many guys.
Open door policy. Everybody on coke's welcome.
So much. I mean, you could gamble, he'd let you back in. Look at Schleister. He did everything wrong.
Terrible.
Kept getting let back in here. Now, we have the dumbest scumbag that we've encountered. This is on pure IQ points, and the guy who you would least want to be like, Jeopardy or Trivial Pursuit partners with at a party, okay? We have number 1, Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
Tommy Morrison was so stupid, he did not think that HIV caused AIDS and then died of AIDS. While insisting he did not have AIDS because HIV doesn't cause AIDS.
Right.
So, yeah, that's Tommy. Dexter Manley for not being able to fucking read till he was 30 years old.
Being a dextard.
Being a dextard. He didn't,
He went to a school for retards.
He did.
He did.
That's what he called it. Not us. That's his word, not ours. And third, Marvin Barnes, who did not understand how time zones work and said he would not get in a plane because, quote, "I ain't getting in no time machine." This was the toughest category we had. Winner here, it's tough, but I really think it has to go to Tommy Morrison.
Yeah. How do you fucking, like the other two, like you can blame the system for for letting them down. But for him, he has books and he goes to see a doctor who tells him you have AIDS. He goes, "Nah, motherfucker, I don't got AIDS."
He literally said, no, not me. He said, HIV doesn't cause AIDS, dude. No, I had HIV, but now I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it, and even if I did have it, it doesn't cause AIDS
Now I just
anymore.
got the flu, so treat this. I can't. You have AIDS, and it's going to kill you.
Your immune system is decimated.
There isn't one.
And also, too, he was having unprotected sex with his girlfriend all the way up till the end when he was having AIDS because he convinced that idiot that she can't get AIDS because he can't get AIDS.
Because he doesn't have AIDS.
No one's got AIDS. So Tommy Morrison, the dumbest scumbag of the year. We're going to do this every year, too.
I love this.
This is the longest fall from glory. This is not counting prison. This is on the outside. How far have you fallen?
Yeah.
From what height have you come, basically, okay? Now, the first candidate would be Darrell Alums. Darrell Alums, who was a basketball star who ended up homeless And in his final act that I saw of criminality recently was run out of a Bev Mart for stealing wine and coming in and threatening people and being the crazy homeless guy that threatens people. That's a pretty good fall from grace. Ryan Leaf.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, from fucking number 1 draft pick to fucking goodbye.
Number 2 overall, getting a huge, giant contract to breaking into people's houses to steal the pills out of their medicine cabinet.
Now giving speeches about how to not do that.
Yeah, which he'll be back.
And trying to talk to Johnny Manziel and really, basically just latch on to somebody else so that he can keep his name out there.
Let's get those two together.
Right.
That'll be a good party for everybody.
Perfect.
Jesus Christ. So Ryan Leaf, number 2. Number 3, Larry Bethea.
That's a good one.
Larry Bethea turned down going to Harvard to play football for Michigan State and ended up shooting himself in the head outside of a crack house, flop house.
God, that's so terrible to laugh at.
Because he had nothing else. He had stole money from his mother.
Yeah.
He wiped out his mother's life savings and then shot himself in the head outside of a crack house.
This is a good category.
That's Big's longest fall from glory. I'm going to let you pick this one, Jimmy. Go ahead.
I'm going to fucking just throw that envelope right over there to Bethea because that is
That's
definitely 100%. You don't rob your mother.
You don't rob your mother and then die outside of a crack house to a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
100%
That's very sad. Now, this is one of my favorite categories. We only have 4 categories left.
Okay.
They're very exciting. This is one of my favorites here. Most likely to have a second Crime and Sports episode. Most likely to do more and fuck up again. Okay, we have Isaiah Ryder, just for sheer volume. This guy's been arrested over 30 times, and he's a pro at it. This guy, when you need someone to get arrested, he's your guy.
He's better at that than he is at playing basketball.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing it much longer, and he's much better at it. He's an all-star when it comes to that. Jason Williams, who is so fucking stupid and arrogant that I feel like he could fuck up again very easily. Jason Williams, back in episode 4, I believe, shot his limo driver in the face. Right. And he's out there, so anything can happen.
He's out there hitting trees and shit already.
He's still got money in his pocket, too, which scares me.
You betcha.
That's bad. And third, Marlon King, the British soccer player who can't stop fucking up and being a complete jerk to everybody. This category, just based on odds, if I was an odds maker, I'm going to have to give it to Isaiah Ryder.
Yes.
Just based on pure volume.
Yeah.
You know, the other two.
Pure volume and the fact that he's out of money.
And he's out of
That's a big problem. When you're out of money and you're a criminal. Career criminal.
Doesn't matter.
Your career for crime is much longer than it is basketball. That's a problem.
And you've had a 25-year cocaine problem, which can reoccur often. It'll
those
show its ugly head.
Those ignite when you're really out of money.
Yeah. Now, this category here, person you'd least want to date your daughter. Okay,
Thank you, Mel Hall.
This category, actually, Mel Hall did not make the cut, shockingly enough. First would be Dave Meggett, who, if he is in the same room as your daughter, she's getting raped. I'll tell you that much. This guy raped everything he ever touched. I swear to God, he met a cat once, he raped it. He rapes everything. He's just a raper. He was the one who has the famous quote, "Time to pay up, bitch."
That's right.
As he dragged an unconscious woman off to rape her. Horrible person. Second would be John Paul Sr., who has not one but 2 missing women pushed over the side of a boat in the ocean. And
they have not found him.
He's last seen in the Fiji Islands somewhere. Right. We have no idea where the hell he is.
That's right.
Who knows? Or in Thailand with a surf shop. And third and finally, Bruno Fernandez de Souza, who actually not only he had a pregnant girlfriend that he first kidnapped and forced at gunpoint to take a black market abortion drug. Right. And when that didn't work and the kid was born, he kidnapped the kid, took it to his ex-girlfriend's house, and took her, tortured her for days, and eventually killed her, cut her up, and fed her to his Rottweilers. So
and then buried the rest of her in concrete.
In concrete with a guy named Bola,
right?
I believe.
That's right.
Wow, that was a long time ago. That's, I believe, episode 6, and we were going back a long way.
Who are you giving it to?
I am giving this to Bruno Fernandez de Souza. At least the ocean would be an easier way to go, and neither of these guys, Dave Meggett's close too, but that's a tough one.
Meggett was the one that slammed the girl's hand in the door too, right?
Oh yeah, that was Meggett. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He had to go on.
Vile human being.
Now, second to last here. Most likely to find and kill me. Who is most likely to hunt me down and kill me like a dog in the street for doing this to them? Number 1 is Lee Murray. He's crazy, and he seems like he'd just want to kill anybody.
And he's up in Canada, right?
Moroccan prison.
Oh, that's right.
He's going to get out soon, so he's scaring me. John Paul Sr., because we don't even know where he is.
He could be in the building right now.
He could be waiting outside the door for us right now to cut my fucking throat. So him, I don't know. And third, Ion Crotoru.
That's the one. in Canada.
Who is a crazy guy who blew up a police station and everything else. He's a psychopath.
Maybe a Jeep salesman.
And a Jeep salesman. And he is known for literally coming down to wrestle, because he was a wrestler, from Canada to the States, shirtless in an open Jeep in the middle of winter. He's a crazy son of a bitch. I am going to give this one to Ion Crotoru because he has the most access. We're on the same continent. I feel like he could just get in his Jeep, come right to my house, and kill me, whereas the other two would have a harder time.
We have great infrastructure in interstates here. I'm sure he could get here quick.
It's terrific. And then finally, here it is, just the biggest award. This is the big one, guys. This is Best Picture.
Yeah.
This is it right here. The biggest scumbag of the year. 53 Men. Who is the biggest scumbag of them all? Your finalists for this category, Jimmy. We have Joe Sun. Joe Sun, who was the guy, he played Odd Job, a random task in Austin Powers, the first Austin Powers movie. He kidnapped a woman, and
probably the most terrifying rape that we've covered.
The worst rape I've ever. This episode today, it was the vat of rape, basically. Threatened to kill her, held a gun to her head, acted like
raped
he was
her with the gun,
raped her repeatedly everywhere he possibly could with the gun, with everything. Said he was going to kill her, and ended up letting her go, running into the horrible scene. Just a horrible person.
Ruined Christmas for her forever.
Generally, just a horrible person. Number 2, Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson was arrested over 100 times, and his final crime was raping an 8-year-old girl. An 8-year-old girl, okay? And number 3, Bruno Fernandez de Souza, back in the list again for killing his girlfriend. Like I said, feeding her a black market abortion drug at gunpoint when that didn't work, killing her, chopping her up, having her fed to Rottweilers and encased in concrete. This award, this was a tough one, Jimmy. The judges, they were up all night with this. I kept knocking on the door, and they kept saying 5 more minutes, and then eventually the white smoke came up. And I said,
we have a new saint.
We've chosen a new scumbag, and it's Eddie Johnson, Scumbag of the Year, 100 arrests, and finally, to top it off, raping an 8-year-old girl. And that is beyond the pale. At least Bruno Fernandez de Souza, at least that girl, that woman he chopped up, at least chose to talk to him at some point. Joe Sun would have been an 8-year-old girl. That takes the cake.
The extenuating circumstance, too, not extenuating, is it? What's the fucking word? The qualifying part of that rape, too, is that he slid a dresser in front of the door, not to keep the girl in, but to keep the people out that were in the fucking house.
Yes,
that's
he did this
vile.
With people there. And
what
said,
a horrible person!
I don't want anyone to stop me while I'm doing this. Luckily, he's in prison for life.
Yay!
So he can get fucked right off.
Bye, Fast Eddie.
And that is the Year 1 Crime and Sports Scummy Awards. Yay! I hope everybody liked the Scummy Awards and liked Year 1 of Crime and Sports in general.
Been such a fun year.
I've had a blast, guys.
Between watching this grow, watching it expand, and watching the audience expand and interact on social media and everywhere has been fucking incredible.
It's wild.
It's really worth every effort and moment that we put into this. So thank all of you for listening. Thank you guys for building this with us. It's been great.
I'll tell you right now, I basically don't sleep from Tuesday to Thursday. I go home on Thursday nights. We're recording on a Thursday night. I go home and we record Small Town Murder the same night. Yeah. So we got done recording that. Now we're recording this.
Right.
I go home and I sit there and I basically stare at the wall like a complete catatonic for 12 hours. I just stare at the wall and just go, good God, I got through it. Because I have been doing nothing but research and all this shit, and I like to do it coming up to the day, so I want to get most of it done the day of. So it's a mess, and it's so fucking worth it, guys. I love it so much, and we have so much fun doing this. And thanks for joining us to make it so we can do this, and we're not doing it for ourselves.
Right.
And it's become something, and it's because of you guys.
For the building of this has been more rapid now than before. The beginning stages of wanting to quit because the audience was so small and it didn't feel worth it. Now it's so rewarding to come in here and sit down at this amazing console that we get to record at. And it's because of you guys. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Amazing thank you to all of you.
We went from my living room to another room in a house that we got to this.
To a room that's a studio that's the size of my living room.
And it's an amazing, top-notch studio, and it sounds good, and we hope you guys are enjoying the sound of it.
Studio that's worth as much as my house.
Honestly, really. Thank you guys. We couldn't do this without you. Really, we're not journalists. Nope. We've said it before. We're not journalists. We're not. We don't have a network. No. We're not anything. All we are a couple of comics. We're not even famous comics.
I wish I knew Joe Rogan.
That's what I mean. We're fucking. We've only been doing comedy 5 and 6 years. Right. So I mean, we're not household names. We don't have Comedy Central specials. We don't have any of that. This is the most recognition we've got for anything. So thank you guys so much. It makes us feel great.
Yeah.
We love it. We hope you guys love it. We're not journalists. It's all you guys. The crime and sports movement have spread this thing, and it's out of our hands now, man. It's a wildfire, and we're happy to have it, man. We love letting it spread. That's our crime and sports deal here. Thank you guys so much. We're going to do some shout-outs right now.
Let me grab
Jimmy's got a bunch of shout-outs to do, and damn, we're just excited. It's great. If you need to get a hold of me, let's do our social media quick first. You can get a hold of me at Jimmie P is funny on all whatever, and James Pietragallo. You can look for my name. Also, if you want to get a shout out, first thing you can do, iTunes review.
Huge.
iTunes. Yeah. Please, 5 stars. Tell us your following instructions. Do whatever you want. Please do that. It helps us immensely. Also, if you really want to show the show some love, you can go to patreon.com/crime and sports / I think. Patreon.com/crime and sports. You can donate any amount of money you want to us, whatever, and it helps us. And like I said, I can access these articles and not have to read them through a little gray window. And it just helps us a lot. It really is helpful.
Save James' eyes.
So please do that if you want. There's some cool rewards on there and whatever, but you just know that you're helping out the show, and we appreciate
tremendously.
More than you know. Yeah. More than you know. And if you want to get a hold of us also on social media and get one of these shout-outs, you can follow us at Twitter. On Twitter, you can follow us at Crime and Sports. Instagram at Crime and Sports. Facebook.com/Crime and Sports. crimeandsports@gmail.com if you want to send us an email, and then you'll get a nice shout-out like this.
Brett Bate, Melissa Teifel, Michael Carter, Nicola Duncan. I don't know. Becky Schultz-Figueroa,
like
Mike
Nicola.
Stoff. Yeah, Nicola. It's foreign.
Nicola.
I know it. I'm terrible at this. Mike Stoff, Benjamin Markgale III. Don't you dare, sir. You get rid of that.
You're walking on a thin wire, brother. I'm sorry. Dude, just stay in the lines, dude.
Just keep it between the lines and just go forward.
10 and 2, brother.
The speed limit. Don't speed. Lucretia Walthen Hester, Anthony Buckley, Ash Preston, Emily Zaleski, Dave Sunsdal, John Keane, Alan Barokovich in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, Aziza Z. Mbali in England, and Brett Bate, I already said Brett Bate, in Wrexham, North Wales.
So much. We love you so much, Brett. We said you twice. And, of course, too, the course of the year, the people who have been with us the whole time, the kind of the horsemen.
The guys.
The Busby and Jay Wedbetter and Sean Astoria.
And then Monge.
Monge,
you
Sanja.
4 have been fucking amazing.
And
so
of course,
thank you
the
guys.
good Reverend Jonathan Gilliam.
Yeah,
also,
man.
We got to throw
Rev.
him in there. He's always been supporting of us, the good Rev, and we hope the good Rev. We know the Rev's been going through some times. It's all good, Rev, man. We got
new
back,
glasses
brother.
This week.
Good for you, buddy. I hope everything's working out. I hope you're feeling better about everything and about life in general, because man, life is good.
Yeah,
man, it's good.
It's been amazing.
You got us twice a week.
That's it.
And make sure, by the way, this show comes out every Tuesday. Make sure every single Thursday to check out Small Town Murder, our other podcast. It's hilarious. If you like this, it's like this, except with a true crime murder of a small town. It's a murder every week. We talk about a small town that it takes place in. We make fun of it. It's a blast. We have a great time with it. You want to give them your social media?
I am at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you can see me live at Stand Up Live in downtown Phoenix with Steve Ranazizi, February 2nd through the 4th. That's this coming weekend. So if
Get
you
your
can
asses there.
Come out.
Get over there, guys.
Be good to see you.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Here we are. We're so excited. 1 year in. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
and murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.